Chapter 237. As soon as the powerhouse finished speaking, Fong Ping hurriedly opened the door and dashed out. This was not a high-rise building, but a small square outside the door. At this moment, many people rushed out of their rooms. However, for martial artists of the three lower ranks, unless they reached upper stage rank 3 and had their bodies honed once, they would be blind even if they came out. Fong Ping was slightly better. He could see some things clearly. At first, Fong Ping looked toward the north gate, but he did not see anything. When he lifted his head and glanced over, Fong Ping was stunned. There was someone in the sky, under the night sky. The silhouette was blurry, but Fong Ping was sure that there was someone above him. The fluctuation of energy particles. Flight. Fong Ping murmured. It was a middle-ranked martial artist who cultivated the flight step. No, it was very high, at least 50 meters in the air. This was not something a middle-ranked martial artist could do. It was a high-ranked powerhouse. Fong Ping, what did you see? Behind him, Fu Chongding asked anxiously. It was not a good feeling to be blind. Just as he was asking, someone leaped over from the front. The reason why he described it as such was because the other party's speed was extremely fast. His figure flashed and disappeared, and in the next moment he appeared 10 meters away. Soon, the other party landed on the ground. Get back into the house. Tang Feng's voice rang out. Don't go out at night. Teacher, has the enemy been killed? No, he retreated. Following Tang Feng's words, another silhouette appeared in a flash. The others could not see it, but Fong Ping saw it slightly. He exclaimed in surprise, Teacher Zheng. The rank 5 Zheng Longjiang staggered to the ground and smiled. Let's go back to the house. Teacher, you... Fong Ping saw a clear bloodstain on the man's chest. His clothes had long been torn to shreds. Seeing this, Fong Ping suddenly asked, Where are the other 3 teachers? Tang Feng said calmly, I'm fine. I suffered some light injuries and went to get treated. He made it sound simple, but Fong Ping did not believe him. Zheng Longjiang's injuries were not light, but the other parties still came over. The other 3 were only ranked for martial artists. Their injuries were probably not light. Go back to your rooms. A bunch of blind people. Are you going to be targets in the middle of the night? Cultivate to the middle ranks as soon as possible. Tang Feng scolded. Fong Ping, an upper stage rank 3, would be lucky if he could see 10 meters ahead. As for the others, they could hardly see it. Only middle-ranked martial artists who had honed their bones and bodies to a certain extent, honing their vital organs and sharpening their hearing and sight, would possess true night vision. They could only hear the sound but couldn't see the person. Everyone felt uncomfortable and could only return to their rooms. Fong Ping did not go back. After everyone had left, he asked, curiously, Instructor, how's the battle situation? Tang Feng grunted. Zheng Longjiang sighed softly. A middle-ranked, and a few guards died. Middle rank, Fong Ping was stunned. He did not expect a middle-ranked martial artist to die in such a short time. This was almost impossible in the outside world. Fong Ping had never heard of any middle-ranked martial artists being killed in the outside world, unless it was those evil sect martial artists. Fong Ping's heart grew heavy. He continued, Does this happen often? That's normal. We've done raids before. Tang Feng was unconcerned. He said mildly, In the catacombs, death is the norm. This was just a small-scale ambush. The other party also lost people. We didn't suffer any losses. It was not the first time this kind of ambush had happened. This time, the other party's losses were greater than Hope City's. They should be casual martial artists, not Sky Gate City's military martial artists. Otherwise, they wouldn't have ambushed the North Gate. That's the gate with the strongest defense. Tang Feng explained and waved his hand. Go back and rest. We'll go out tomorrow. Then I'll go back. Fong Ping could not ask anything more. He turned around and was about to leave. After some thought, he suddenly asked, "Is the person in the air a grandmaster?" Ha! Zheng Longjiang looked at Fong Ping strangely. "You saw it?" In the middle of the night, Fong Ping, an upper stage rank 3, could actually see people? I felt it. It's a very powerful energy particle fluctuation. Thinking that Fong Ping had also sensed the passageway's energy before, Zheng Longjiang laughed. "Interesting. You can sense it with mentality?" Not many instructors in MCMU knew about this. Tang Feng knew about it. He snorted softly. "Although mentality is slightly stronger, it's weak. Mentality is equivalent to nothing. You don't have to worry about grandmasters. Go back." Fong Ping pursed his lips. Big Lion did not know how to care about geniuses at all. Did he not know the principle of not bullying the young for being poor? Without further ado, Fong Ping raised his head to take another look before returning to the house. As soon as Fong Ping left, Zheng Longjiang said in a low voice, "Old Lu and the other two are injured quite badly. What should we do next?" "It's okay. The two of us can do it too. But no buts. It's impossible for the school to arrange for more people to come over now. The school is also short on manpower." Zheng Longjiang was helpless. It was a bad start. On the first day they entered the catacombs, they were ambushed. 3 rank for martial artists were injured quite badly. He himself was also slashed by someone, but it was not too serious. Although he and Tang Feng were stronger than the others, it was really not enough to take care of 100 students. That night, Fong Ping and the others did not sleep well either. The next day, everyone woke up. The energy sun seemed to appear suddenly, tearing the darkness apart instantly. The sky was bright. As soon as the sky brightened, everyone ran out of the room in a hurry. Yang Xiaoman asked anxiously, "What happened last night? Were there any casualties? Hope City is our base camp. How dare these people come here to die?" "Quiet?" Tang Feng woke up early too. He walked over and looked at everyone. "Pack your luggage. After breakfast, follow me out of the city immediately." Zheng Longjiang came too. He changed his clothes so that no one could see his injuries. In the crowd, a few students looked around and asked Instructor Tang, "My instructor and the others didn't come? They have other things to do." Tang Feng did not explain further. He scolded, "Hurry up. What are you doing dragging your feet?" Everyone hurriedly went back to pack their things. Soon, they each carried their weapons and luggage out of the house. As for breakfast, no one went to the cafeteria to eat. They would rather eat some compressed biscuits. Tang Feng did not care about this. Seeing that they were done packing, he walked toward the north gate. They passed by the north gate. Fong Ping glanced at it. When he saw that there seemed to be some faint bloodstains on the ground, he could not help but frown. Could the bloodstains not be washed clean? How many people had died in these years? The soldiers guarding the gate stood straight and saluted everyone. They only retracted their salutes after everyone had left the city. Outside the city, this was everyone's first time out of the city. They all felt that it was a little strange. Fong Ping turned around and took a look. Then he was a little shocked and murmured, "This is in the city." He had not discovered it yet. When he was outside the city, he realized that the outer perimeter of the city wall was actually made of iron. Steel City. Zheng Longjiang smiled faintly. "This is used to defend against the martial artist army. Rank 1 and 2 martial artists don't have strong jumping abilities, but their limbs are strong. They can destroy the city wall and cause great damage. Over the years, through the continuous transportation of supplies, we have built the outer walls of Hope City into Steel City walls. Although it can't stop middle and high-ranked martial artists, it's enough to deal with ordinary troops and rank 1 and 2 martial artists. It's very difficult for them to destroy these city walls. They're all very thick." Fong Ping did not care about this. Instead, he continued to stare at the city wall. Even if it was made of steel, the outer body of the city wall was now full of potholes. Knife marks and spear holes were everywhere. The others were also a little shocked. This was everyone's first time seeing a real steel city. It's a pity that things like missiles are useless. Otherwise, they could be shipped over and directly blow up the catacombs. Someone murmured. Tang Feng, on the other hand, struck a blow. Stop dreaming. Even if they're shipped over, they might not be a match. If such a weapon with great lethality can be used, then it's not just against a city, but the entire catacombs. Moreover, it's not like the other party doesn't have a countermeasure. When the purity of the energy stones reaches a limit, high-ranked powerhouses can guide the energy stones to release energy, producing an explosive effect with great power. Right now, in the catacombs, on the one hand, we lack high-purity energy stones. On the other hand, we can't bear to use a large amount of energy stones to make explosives. However, once we have a weapon with great lethality, do you think the other party will stake it all on one throw and adopt the same plan to bomb us? Fong Ping curled his lips. It's the catacombs territory anyway. So what if we blow it up? Tang Feng said weakly. The premise is that our weapons can be used here. What's the use of thinking about it? All right, let's go. Everyone followed the team and walked forward together. It was their first time in the wilderness. Everyone was curious about everything they saw. Some of the plants in the catacombs looked familiar, while others looked very unfamiliar. There were also some small animals that were similar to some animals on Earth, but their physiques were bigger. Moreover, these animals had been exposed to the energy sun for a long time, so some energy had also accumulated in their bodies. Within 10 kilometers, this was Hope City's radiation range. There was not much danger, and there were no large creatures. Here, the two instructors began to guide everyone looking for water sources, observing ambush points, setting traps. This included identifying and tracking footprints. Tang Feng and Long Zhang taught them meticulously. During the break, "The air is so good," young Xiaoman sighed. Fong Ping teased, "How you know that it's air here?" "Air is just what we call it." "Maybe it's not air here." Young Xiaoman rolled her eyes at him and said impatiently, "Did you fall asleep in class? We've done a test. It's air." "Is it?" "Of course it is." "Quiet. Silence. Maintain silence during the break." Tang Feng scolded again and reminded, "In the wilderness, no matter if there are many people or only one person, maintain silence. Don't make a racket." Fong Ping shrugged and said, "Instructor, do we have horses to ride on here?" "Yes." Fong Ping's interest was instantly piqued. He said hurriedly, "Then why don't we ride horses? Do you want to die?" Tang Feng explained, "Normal creatures like horses have strong vitality, but they don't know how to restrain it. They release vitality all the time. It's very easy to attract the attention and greed of powerful creatures. Also, it's very dangerous if the commotion is too big. That's why most martial artists travel on foot. The military department has a cavalry unit, but it's not very effective. In the catacombs, there are too many powerful creatures. Once they encounter powerful creatures, these cavalry units will be in trouble. This includes high-ranked powerhouses. They can release pressure to intimidate the horses. Before you can charge out, the other party's mentality suppression will hit, and the cavalry unit will be almost finished." Fong Ping said in surprise, "Is the range of high-ranked martial artists' mentality radiation very large?" He knew that mentality had a suppressive effect. Last time, Huang Jing had intimidated him, and he was suppressed until he could not breathe. However, could a high-ranked martial artist's mentality radiation be very wide? Very wide. Rank 7 martial artists can radiate at least 30 meters. Rank 8 and Rank 9 martial artists can radiate even further. That's why cavalry units can only be used as a military unit, not as a decisive force. "I see." Fong Ping nodded and said, "Instructor, are there any kinds of mounts in the catacombs?" "Mounts?" Tang Feng said with a faint smile. "There's no value in taming normal creatures. They can't run as fast as us. They're aren't many standard creatures that are suitable for riding. In the catacombs, the bigger the creature, the stronger it is. Before you can tame it, it will eat you first. These creatures aren't very intelligent. On the other hand, high-ranked creatures have a certain level of intelligence, and there's hope of taming them. The premise is that you have the ability. High-ranked creatures have a certain level of intelligence and are extremely difficult to tame, even if you defeat them. So, there are mounts, but you have to be on guard against them at any time. However, as far as I know, the few rank 9 grandmasters of the human race all have their own mounts. I haven't seen anyone else for now. Vice-Chancellor wanted to tame a rank 7 dragon crocodile beast before, but when he brought it to Hope City, there was a big mess. If it wasn't for Vice-Chancellor killing the other party, I'm afraid there would be countless casualties. Tell me, do you dare to bring this kind of creature into human society? If you don't bring it back, and leave it here when you leave, do you want grandmasters to guard it for you? If you don't guard it, these creatures will rebel. Who can stop them? Then rank 9 grandmasters. They might have their own unique taming method, but it's not suitable for promotion. Otherwise, they would have formed this kind of army a long time ago. That's true. Fong Ping seemed a little regretful. My dream of riding a mount was shattered. Even a rank 8 vice-chancellor could not tame it successfully. Did that mean that there was only hope for a rank 9? In the next 2 days, everyone explored the surroundings of Hope City. They familiarized themselves with the environment and learned the ways of survival. They did not encounter any enemies. There were military department garrisons 10 kilometers away from Hope City, so there were not many people from Skygate City who came to attack. However, on the 3rd day, Fong Ping and the others still saw a battle. It was the military department's 3rd defense station outside. When Fong Ping and the others arrived, they just saw the 2 sides breaking out in a big battle. At the 3rd defense station, there were more than 10 martial artists and close to 100 soldiers. The other side was a martial artist team of more than 30 people. There were 2 middle-ranked martial artists on the human side, while the other side had 6 or 7 middle-ranked martial artists. As soon as the battle broke out, a few middle-ranked martial artists from the catacombs rushed into the team of soldiers and killed 4 or 5 people in an instant. Fong Ping and the others saw this scene from a distance and rushed over. Tang Feng's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared on the battlefield. Die! Tang Feng roared. On one hand, it was to inform the military department that they were on their side. On the other hand, it was to attract the attention of the catacombs' martial artists. It was Fong Ping and the others' first time seeing Tang Feng in action. Tang Feng did not use a weapon. Everyone only saw his figure flash and appear on top of a person's head, crushing the other person's head with 1 foot. In the next moment, he appeared in front of another person and smashed the other person's head with 1 punch, almost in the blink of an eye. Tang Feng flashed one after another. No one was a match for him. 6 or 7 middle-ranked martial artists, including some martial artists of the 3 lower ranks, died at his hands. Fong Ping and the others were stunned. So strong. Tang Feng was really strong. He killed middle-ranked martial artists like he was killing chickens. The other party was also so fast that Fong Ping could barely see his figure. Before Fong Ping and the others could run over, the battle was over. Tang Feng casually wiped his hand on the last person's body. He had an indifferent look on his face, which made him look like a lonely expert. Chapter 238. Although Tang Feng had killed these catacombs martial artists, there were still a few warriors on the military campsite who had died. The living warriors collected the corpses of the sacrificed warriors. After collecting their nameplates, the military camp's officer walked into the stronghold. Very quickly, he walked out holding some national flags. After covering the bodies of the sacrificed warriors with the flags, the soldiers sang the national anthem. Fong Ping and the others did not know how they felt. They had only seen Tang Feng killing the martial artists with ease, but they had forgotten that even if these warriors were no match for the enemy, they still risked their lives to stop the enemy. In the catacombs, ordinary people were really too weak. The next scene made the students feel even more uncomfortable. The warriors did not have too much sorrow or hesitation. Very quickly, they dug a pit nearby and began to bury the corpses of the sacrificed warriors. Instructor, Longjiang said softly, "We can't burn the corpses here. If we transport the corpses back, we might be attacked on the way. That's why the warriors are buried wherever they died. They are buried in foreign lands, accompanying these comrades until victory." Victory, Fong Ping muttered. How long would victory take? Humans could not even conquer a city in the catacombs. How could they talk about victory? Tang Feng did not elaborate too much. He lowered his head and began to count the spoils of war. A few students glanced at him, their eyes showing a hint of anger. Obviously, they felt that Tang Feng was too cold-blooded. Tang Feng did not explain. He would not explain. In the catacombs, when people died, it was useless to grieve. The only way to become stronger was to become stronger himself and everyone else. Collecting the spoils of war was also the best shortcut for everyone to become stronger. The warriors and martial artists all understood these principles, so no one felt that Tang Feng collecting the spoils of war was inappropriate. Tang Feng only collected the middle-ranked martial artists' belongings. As for the 3 lower-ranks martial artists, he did not look at them, nor did he tidy them up. Obviously, they were left for the stronghold. In the stronghold, Fong Ping and the others attended the extremely simple funeral. They did not stay for long. Very soon, everyone left the stronghold. Instructor, these ordinary people in the catacombs, are they useful? Fong Ping asked, a little puzzled and confused. Longjiang said in a low voice, "Of course they are useful. After all, martial artists are the minority. Do you expect martial artists to go against Sky Gate City's hundreds of thousands of troops? This time, there are just too many martial artists and too few warriors. They can't form a military formation." Martial artist, Fong Ping sighed. Tang Feng suddenly stopped in his tracks and said, "If we go on like this, we'll be wasting too much time. I've decided. I'll bring the rank 3 martial artists and go deeper. Old Zheng, you bring the others and act according to the plan. Old Tang, this rank 3 martial artists are meant to enter the catacombs. How can flowers in a greenhouse become stronger?" Tang Feng's tone was slightly cold. The situation has worsened again. In the past, have you ever seen dozens of martial artists attacking a military camp? Time is running out. This, blindly protecting them, will only make everyone slack off. We've already taught them everything that needs to be taught. This will also be the last time. I will bring everyone to the 30-kilometer limit to take a look at the grinder. After that, you will be free to move. Whether you live or die depends on yourselves. It's impossible for them to dispatch dozens of middle and high-ranked martial artists to protect you just for a bunch of rank 2 and 3 martial artists. The experts were all very busy and had many things to do. These youngsters could only rely on themselves. If it were not for the fact that there were quite a few rank 2 martial artists around, the instructors would have evacuated after 3 days. How could one grow without experiencing wind and rain? Powerhouses had also walked out of a narrow escape from death. Tang Feng had made this decision because he felt that the current speed was too slow. The existence of rank 2 martial artists had also delayed the rank 3 martial artists' time. Rank 3 martial artists were meant to enter the catacombs to fight. These days, there were quite a number of rank 3 martial artists in the team, close to 20 people. When he heard that Tang Feng wanted to split up, Fong Ping panicked and said hurriedly, "Instructor, it's not good to split up like this." He was still hoping that Chen Yunxi and the others would give him pills. Tang Feng frowned and glanced at him. then you should act alone. According to your strength, you should have entered 50 kilometers by yourself long ago to kill the enemy martial artists and join the real battle. You shouldn't be mingling around here and wasting your time." Fong Ping's expression was a little ugly. He said unhappily, "This is my first time entering. Upper stage rank 3 martial artists should be independent even if it's their first time entering. You're different from them." He was unhappy. Tang Fong was unhappy too. He let out a light huff. "Go ask around. Which upper stage rank 3 martial artist needs someone else's protection when entering the catacombs? Dying in battle was his fate. Staying alive is the capital to become stronger. Only by exchanging blows and killing blows with other experts could the strong become stronger. You're always mingling with a group of rank 2 martial artists. Aren't you proud of yourself, thinking that you're amazing, that you're a genius? You're the strongest. Do you only know how to flaunt your prowess in front of the weak? The Wang Jinyang you know entered the catacombs at rank 3 and killed countless enemies. He just entered rank 4 and killed a rank 5. Who wouldn't say that a good man should be like this? Yao Qingjun and the others, who are upper stage rank 3, are fighting with their lives on the line. A rank 3 against a rank 4. Humans need to cultivate powerhouses. Powerhouses who dare to fight. Powerhouses who dare to gamble. Not weak wolves mingling in a flock of sheep. Fong Ping's face was red. He was not someone who could not be provoked, but right now Fong Ping was really angry. He gritted his teeth and said, "Instructor Tang, I've said it before. This is my first time entering the catacombs. You've been here for the 4th day." Tang Fong was a little disappointed. "I've brought many people into the catacombs before. Under normal circumstances, they would go out on their own within 3 days instead of mingling with large teams and waiting for the school's arrangements. Why can powerhouses become stronger? Actively become stronger, not passively waiting. Fong Ping, you're very talented. You've achieved rank 3 in a year, and you might even enter rank 4. However, in my opinion, a martial artist like you, who passively waits to become stronger, is just a vitality martial artist who wastes resources. Vitality martial artists don't just refer to those martial artists who do not know combat techniques. There are also those martial artists who just eat and wait for death, passively waiting for disaster to come. Martial artists without any ideals. Tell me, have you ever thought of going out alone to kill enemies, seize things, and make yourself stronger? What are you waiting for? Waiting for a team to be arranged for you? You're upper stage rank 3. Don't you know the difference between upper stage rank 3 martial artists and others? Do you really want to do missions with a group of rank 2 martial artists? When the time comes, if you encounter an enemy who is too weak, you can kill them instantly. If you encounter an enemy who is too strong, you can only watch as your comrades die. Fong Ping, you've disappointed me. Extremely disappointed. Lu Fengru and Li Chongqing think highly of you and think that your talent is amazing. However, I think that you're far from the others. Don't even mention those rank 4 prodigies who are famous now. You're far from CCMU's Han Su, MCMU's CLA, and Qin Fengqing. You've never thought of taking the initiative to become stronger. Compared to others, do you really think that your life is more precious? Don't the others know how to cherish their lives? But the more you cherish your life, the faster you die. Sooner or later, others will catch up to you and surpass you. Fong Ping's expression kept changing. He said in a low voice, "I just think that I'll be more useful if I become stronger. If I become a grandmaster, won't I be more useful than fighting as a rank 3 today?" Tang Fong said coldly, "When you become a grandmaster, you'll think that I'll be more useful if I become a grandmaster. When you become a grandmaster one day, you'll think about why I'm fighting for humanity. Grandmasters can already live freely in the catacombs. If everyone had the same thoughts as you, humanity would have been destroyed long ago." Fong Ping clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. "Are you saying that Fong Ping, will become a traitor? What makes you think that? What makes you think that I, Fong Ping, will not fight for humanity? If you think that I'm wrong, then go and prove yourself. I'll be waiting for you to slap my face. You're trying to provoke me. What a joke. Tang Fong said coldly. Being self-righteous is also an extremely serious shortcoming of yours. As a peak rank 6 martial artist, Fong Ping, I've killed more rank 6 martial artists than you've ever met. Fong Ping, if you don't become a grandmaster, in my eyes, no matter how talented you are, you're not much stronger than anyone else. Fong Ping, what contributions have you made to humanity? Why should I, Tang Fong, provoke you? What I said today is only from the bottom of my heart. Where you're going to go, think about it yourself. Tang Fong strode away, saying as he walked, rank 3 martial artists follow me. Fong Ping, you can stay with the rank 2 martial artists. This is the privilege I'm giving you. After saying this, Tang Fong had already left. The other rank 3 martial artists followed him without saying a word. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. Fu Changding advised him softly. Instructor Tang doesn't mean any harm. Fong Ping clenched his fists and said in a muffled voice, in your eyes, I, Fong Ping, am a coward who's afraid of death, a coward who might even defect to the enemy. I've never been afraid to fight. I just have my own path. I don't care what Tang Fong thinks. Fu Changding, in your eyes, I, Fong Ping, am the same? Fu Changding comforted him. It's not like that. Don't think too much about it. Become stronger before killing the enemy. There's no problem with this line of thinking. Fong Ping said angrily, why do I still hear you say that I'm afraid of death? Yang Xiaoman did not give him any face. She muttered, is it wrong? If I were upper stage rank 3, I would have gone out alone to kill the enemy martial artists. Shut up. Fong Ping said angrily, you're not upper stage rank 3. That's because you're weak. You don't have the right to mock me. Stop arguing, Chen Yunxi said hurriedly, interrupting everyone's argument. Fong Ping took a deep breath and continued, let me ask you this. If I teamed up with you and encountered a strong enemy, would you feel that I'm a burden? Tell me the truth. Also, if I teamed up with you, I'll definitely get a bigger share of the spoils. Don't you have any other thoughts? Sometimes if I meet a slightly weaker opponent, I can easily kill them alone. I won't even give you much. What do you think? The few of them were silent for a moment. Zheng Longjiang, who was beside them, did not say anything. After a long time, Fu Changding sighed softly. You're much stronger than us. If we teamed up with you, we don't have a sense of existence. I see, Fong Ping murmured. It turned out that everyone did not think that he was strong enough to protect them. Instead, they thought that his strength had overshadowed their light and reduced their training opportunities. Moreover, if they really encountered a strong enemy, and he was no match for them, they could only watch helplessly without any ability to resist. If that's the case, I'm the only one who thought that you should be very happy that I teamed up with you? Fong Ping said self-deprecatingly. I thought that you would be very happy. I thought that I'm an upper stage rank 3 martial artist, and my strength is not weak. If I meet an opponent, I can kill them quickly, and your safety will be higher. Now, it seems that I was naive. You want to become stronger, want to experience life and death, and not rely on others blindly. That's true. Your fathers are all rank 5 or 6 powerhouses, and even grandmaster powerhouses. This kind of backing is much stronger than me. Fong Ping, 1,000 times stronger. I actually laughably thought that after entering the catacombs, I would be your backing. It's indeed somewhat laughable. I think I'm infallible. Tang Fong was right. Your fathers allowed you to enter martial arts universities. If they were really afraid that you would die, they might as well protect you themselves. Why would they need me? Fong Ping. Fong Ping laughed self-deprecatingly. It was really laughable. It turned out that what he had been thinking was laughable in everyone's eyes. Everyone was just accommodating him. They just felt that he had too much pride and could not say anything. Fong Ping, who came from a civilian family, did not understand the mentality of these martial artists at all, be it in his previous life or this life. Did they need someone to protect them? If they really had this thought, they might not have chosen to enter the catacombs. Who did not know the dangers of the catacombs? This included Chun Yunshi. If she wanted to, she would not have come to MCMU. She could do better in SCMU. Fong Ping, that's not what everyone meant. Don't think too much. Chun Yunshi explained again. Fong Ping exhaled and did not say anything else. He took a step forward and said, I'm going over there. You guys be careful. Before the instructor came, he asked me to protect you. Maybe the instructor is also wrong. What you guys need is not protection. I don't care if Big Lion looks down on me. Whether it's right or wrong, I'll continue to walk my own path. If I'm really wrong, I won't look back. One day, when I become a grandmaster and kill the other party's high-ranked martial artists, he'll understand that I, Fong Ping, am not as cowardly and useless as he said. After saying that, Fong Ping took a step forward and left. After he had left for a while, Chun Yunshi whispered, Did we go too far? Yang Xiaoman said disapprovingly, What's too far? He always thinks that he's the best and invincible. He doesn't care about anyone, but compared to people like Wang Jinyang, haven't you noticed that he's still lacking? But Fu Chongding said softly, Forget it. It's for his own good. If he really wants to be with us, he won't have any pressure or motivation. Dragons don't live with snakes. What we have to do is to catch up to his footsteps and make him feel pressured. That's really for his own good. But before Chun Yunshi could finish, Zheng Longjiang laughed and said, It's okay. I don't think Fong Ping is the kind of person who would waste his time. When he reaches Old Tang and goes to the grinder, he'll know that Old Tang actually thinks highly of him. That's why he's encouraging him. I only hope that he can make use of his advantages and take the initiative to become stronger so that he can play a role in humanity's victory. Sooner or later, he'll understand that if Old Tang really doesn't think highly of him, he would have ignored him a long time ago. Do you guys really think that peak rank 6 martial artists have so much free time? But Chun Yunshi said anxiously, but he seems to have gone the wrong way. Instructor Tang and the others went north, but he went northeast. The entire team suddenly quieted down. Zheng Longjiang laughed dryly. It's okay. Old Tang said that he's going north. Fu Chongding swallowed and said suddenly, he seems to lack a sense of direction. Zheng Longjiang's expression changed slightly. He said hurriedly, Wait for me here for a while. I'll be right back. 10 minutes later, Zheng Longjiang had no choice but to return. He said with an ugly expression, He's gone. Everyone was stunned. Where did Fong Ping go? Chapter 239. At the same time, Fong Ping looked around, mumbling, Where are they? They're all running so fast. Big Lion really wants me to go with the rank 2 team. What's this? He's not letting me follow on purpose? Fong Ping mumbled to himself for a while and looked around. There was nothing but grass. No one was burning them. No one would be so extravagant as to use energy stones to burn these weeds. Above his head, the huge energy sun was still hanging high. Looking behind him, Fong Ping mumbled, Should I go back now? He had just left valiantly. If he went back now, others would not believe that he did not catch up to Big Lion. They would only think that he was a coward. Am I shameless? Fong Ping cursed in his heart. I am shameless too. Can I go back now? Big Lion said to go to the extreme radiation zone of 30 kilometers. I've just walked a few kilometers, haven't I? Plus I was in the safe zone of 10 kilometers. Fong Ping calculated. He should be outside the extreme radiation zone in another 10 kilometers or so. Big Lion and the others should be there, right? Looking ahead, Fong Ping did not hesitate and continued on his way. At this moment, a few kilometers away from Fong Ping, he didn't catch up? Tang Fong frowned slightly and snorted in his heart. Since he was willing to stay in the rank 2 team, then he would stay there. Hurry up and reach the destination before dark. We won't go back to the city after this. We'll sleep outside. Yes. The student sped up. Zhang Ziwei humphed as she hurried. He didn't come. This guy is really a coward. Yu Xianghua frowned slightly. Don't say that. He might have his reasons. Let him be. Zhang Ziwei quickened her pace and said lightly, he'll never become a true powerhouse like this. She had thought that Fong Ping was Xie Lei's rival, but now, when they were only 30 kilometers away, Fong Ping was pushing and shoving. Even after Tang Fong had said so much, he still chose to stay with the rank 2 martial artist team. This made Zhang Ziwei feel that she had overestimated Fong Ping. The others did not say anything. Fong Ping not coming was indeed unexpected. Although Tang Fong said that he could stay in the rank 2 team, everyone could tell that he was trying to provoke him. However, everyone could tell that he was trying to provoke him. In the end, Fong Ping really stayed. It was unexpected. Fong Ping traveled at full speed. Even if he did not consume his vitality, his physique had been modified, once at upper stage rank 3, so he was much stronger than the average martial artist. With a casual swing of his saber, he chopped the weeds in front of him. He looked around and said angrily, "Bastard, what's the meaning of this?" His speed was already extremely fast, but he still couldn't catch up with the team. They were probably already 30 kilometers away, right? Up ahead, Fong Ping had already discovered some remnants of a battle. The weeds were scattered, and there was even a faint trace of blood in the soil. Is this a meat grinder? Fong Ping mumbled. During class, the teacher had introduced the place to him. 30 kilometers away from the city, the place was known as the Grinder. Here, human martial artists and Skygate city martial artists often fought, and both sides killed each other constantly. After so many years, the number of martial artists from both sides who had died on this land had already exceeded tens of thousands. Tens of thousands of martial artists, not ordinary people. An army formed by tens of thousands of martial artists, together with a high-ranked powerhouse, was enough to destroy an ordinary army of 1 million people. I've already reached the Grinder, but I still haven't encountered them. Could it be that I've deviated from the direction? Fong Ping asked himself uncertainly. After all, there was no direct road. In the wilderness, there were only some small paths that people had stepped on. Martial artists rarely took a fixed path. The small path that Fong Ping had taken earlier was not used many times. He had also seen Tang Fong and the others taking this path, which was why he had chased after them along the unclear path. Could it be that they've changed their path? Fong Ping was not too sure. Then what should I do now? Fong Ping had a slight headache. It was desolate and uninhabited, and Tang Fong and the others did not have many people. If they had changed their path, where would he go to find them? Although it was said that it was the Grinder 30 kilometers away, this was a straight line distance. The Grinder was just a general name. The horizontal radiation range was extremely wide, spanning hundreds of li. The catacombs was vast and sparsely populated. There was no sign of human habitation within a radius of tens of kilometers. It was too sparse and normal. Should I return to Hope City first? Fong Ping weighed the options in his heart. Or should I kill a few catacombs martial artists first before returning, lest those fellows think that I'm hiding? He had already reached the Grinder. It would not be right to return empty-handed just like that. The Grinder was the activity area of middle and low-ranked martial artists. There were very few rank 5 and 6 martial artists. As long as I don't encounter peak rank 6 like Big Lion, I might be able to escape. Fine, I'll kill a few peak rank 3 before returning. I'll also let those bastards know that I've killed more peak rank 3 martial artists than they've ever seen. Entering the Grinder's area, The vegetation here was much sparser. The perennial battles between martial artists had caused the grinder to look like a bald man. Bare potholes could often be seen. Fong Ping lightened his footsteps, focused his energy, and paid attention to his surroundings. When he was in a large team with 2 middle-ranked instructors and nearly 100 students, it would be fine if he was careless. Now that he was alone, the danger level had increased greatly. "Who's there?" Fong Ping suddenly let out a soft cry, raising his saber to slash. After waiting for a while, the surroundings were quiet. Only then did Fong Ping put down his Chongdao. It did not come out. There was probably no one there. Can the catacombs martial artists understand what I'm saying? They should be able to. Just one word. The surroundings were too quiet, making Fong Ping feel uneasy. He could only comfort himself with a few words to reduce this feeling of unease. After looking around vigilantly for more than 10 minutes, Fong Ping did not see a single person. He was suddenly very depressed. Should I go back first? Fong Ping looked around, feeling the urge to go back. Alone in the wilderness, especially when he could face enemies at any time, it was very uncomfortable to be on edge. Just as Fong Ping thought about it and slightly let down his guard, a shadow suddenly flashed in the bushes to his left. The next moment, Fong Ping's hair stood on end, and he quickly retreated. Puff! A faint sound of flesh tearing was heard. Fong Ping's pupils contracted, and he sped up, retreating quickly. The person who attacked in the bushes also quickly caught up, but his speed was not as fast as Fong Ping. Seeing that Fong Ping had retreated from the attack range, the long-haired man who walked out of the bushes had a flash of unwillingness in his eyes. Then he quickly burrowed into the bushes and disappeared in an instant. Fong Ping felt a lingering fear. He touched his throat. His hand was slightly damp, bleeding. The other party's surprise attack had almost pierced his throat with a sword. For martial artists of the 3 lower ranks, the throat was also one of the fatal weaknesses. Cold sweat dripped down Fong Ping's forehead. Then he was furious. The other party was probably not upper stage rank 3, but he almost killed him with a sword. Trying to run, Fong Ping was furious. The next moment, he quickly chased into the bushes. As soon as he entered the bushes, the sword flashed again. The other party did not run. He was waiting for Fong Ping. This time, Fong Ping did not panic. He tilted his head slightly and dodged the tip of the other party's sword. The next moment, Fong Ping did not look where the other party was. His Chongdao slashed in the direction of the vitality that his mentality had sensed. Puff! There was a muffled sound. The Chongdao entered the flesh, and the bushes in front of Fong Ping broke. The blade also split the person behind the bushes in half. Mother of asterisk cur, did you really think I couldn't sense you? Fong Ping cursed. He was not prepared enough before, and the other party had restrained his vitality. That was why the surprise attack was successful. However, since his mentality had broken through the 500 Hz mark, although he could not officially release it to suppress the enemy, he could spread it a little. Mentality was very sensitive to energy particles. Vitality force was actually a manifestation of energy particles. The other party was so close to Fong Ping. No matter how well the other party restrained his vitality, in Fong Ping's eyes, it was as bright as a firefly in the dark. After killing the other party with one slash, Fong Ping chopped all the bushes around him, adding a bald spot to the grinder. After leaving space for himself to dodge, Fong Ping went forward to check on the person who had just been killed. The shoulder-length hair, which should have been tied up earlier, was now scattered on the ground. Fong Ping's saber outburst could not be matched by martial artists below upper stage rank 3. The other party's head had long been cut in half. Black hair, Fong Ping half-squatted and observed for a while, similar to a human. No, similar to an Asian. The corpse lying on the ground had black hair, yellow skin, and was probably between 25 to 30 years old, early stage rank 3 strength. How dare you ambush an upper stage rank 3? Of course, the other party might not have seen through Fong Ping's strength. Fong Ping looked very young, and he was not as experienced as those martial artists who often enter the catacombs. He looked like a fledgling. This was the main reason why the other party ambushed him. Fong Ping searched the other party's body and found a small cloth bag. He tossed it aside, not in a hurry to check it. The cloth bag and the other party's long sword were his spoils this time. Fong Ping checked the other party's clothes and boots. The clothes seemed to be made of ordinary fabric, but the boots were made of leather. Fong Ping could not tell what kind of creature's leather it was. He reached out and tore the leather boots. It's not made from the fur of a middle-high rank creature. What a pity. Fong Ping shook his head slightly and tossed the boots aside. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping picked up the torn clothes and examined them again. Very quickly, Fong Ping found a badge the size of a coin at the original position of the chest. A rank 3 medal. Fong Ping stared at the golden medal in front of him. 3 long swords were printed on the front of the medal. One of the long swords was more like a dagger. This meant that the other party was an early-stage rank 3 swordsman. On the back, there was a brooch and an indistinguishable plant printed on it. However, Fong Ping knew that this was the Skygate tree. The Skygate tree was also the symbol of Skygate City's city emblem. In Skygate City, the old professor in class had said that there was a giant tree that was 100 meters tall that was called the Skygate tree by humans. The martial artist medal was also a symbol of martial artists in the catacombs. Most martial artists would wear a medal of this level. Skygate City, martial artist, early stage rank 3 strength. He should be a casual martial artist. Fong Ping made a judgment. It was easy to tell if he was a casual martial artist or a Skygate City military martial artist. Almost all military martial artists used standardized weapons. Fong Ping had seen the standardized long swords of the military martial artists in the Research Institute before. They were different from the one used by the person in front of him. Also, among military martial artists, powerhouses hunted alone, while the weak hunted in groups. Early stage rank 3 strength could only be said to be average. Military martial artists rarely appeared alone. A casual martial artist. Early stage rank 3 almost killed me. Fong Ping's eyes flickered. The other party's strength was far from his. The gap was huge. He had been careful enough, but he had not been vigilant enough. He had almost been killed. He touched his throat. The wound had stopped bleeding and was healing quickly, but Fong Ping still had some lingering fear. I have to be careful. More careful. More careful. The 3 careful S made Fong Ping even more vigilant. His mentality began to condense into threads and spread around his body. He picked up the other party's longsword, knocked it, and squeezed it hard. E-grade alloy. Poor bastard. The weapons used by catacombs martial artists were not made of the alloy used by humans. However, humans preferred to judge the strength of a weapon by their own grade. Places like the military department and martial arts universities would only buy back catacombs weapons at 2/3 of the price of the alloy grade. In fact, many of the weapons used by catacombs martial artists were made from raw ores. The government bought them back and added other metals. One catacombs weapon could be made into 3 alloy weapons of the same strength. This was also an important source of raw materials for weapons manufacturing companies to make alloys. He weighed the long sword in his hand. It was not too heavy. It was at most 5 or 6 caddies. If it was sold to the military department or other departments, it would be 500,000 or 600,000 at most. If this was the only reward from killing a rank 3 martial artist, it would be insignificant. There were no extra rewards for killing martial artists in the catacombs. They only looked at the spoils. Of course, it was not absolute. Sometimes the military department would issue some missions, such as hunting down a number of lower-ranked martial artists or middle-ranked martial artists. They would also give some extra rewards, mainly to encourage people to kill more catacombs martial artists. Fong Ping opened the small cloth bag again. There were very few things inside. A few dry rations that looked like steamed buns, a rough-looking energy stone, and a cultivation-aiding energy stone, slightly larger than a grain of rice. A cultivation-aiding energy stone, used to replenish vitality? Fong Ping estimated it. It was 1 gram at most. The basic energy stone, on the other hand, was about 10 grams. A 1 gram cultivation-aiding energy stone is worth 30 credits. That's 900,000. It's not cheap, plus the 10-gram basic energy stone. I wonder how high its purity is. It's probably the lowest kind. 10 credits, 300,000. He calculated. This time, he had killed this early-stage rank 3 martial artist. His reward was less than 2 million. Fong Ping was an upper-stage rank 3 martial artist. That was why he had killed him easily. Other rank 3 martial artists might not have been so lucky. They might have been killed in the first strike. A rank 3 martial artist risked his life to kill his opponent. His reward was less than 2 million. It was not considered much. He's dead, and I've seized his stuff. Why didn't my wealth increase? Fong Ping glanced at his wealth and frowned slightly. Before entering the catacombs, his wealth had reached more than 80 million. He had spent some during this period. Now, he still had 79 million. However, after seizing it, his wealth did not increase. This was different from before. Previously, the rewards would only be calculated after the credits had been collected. The other pills and weapons that were seized were distributed to Fong Ping and counted as his wealth. Now that the other party was dead, why was it not counted as his? It didn't count as my wealth. This means that these things don't belong to me yet. Fong Ping's pupils suddenly contracted. The next moment, Fong Ping leaped into the air and fled backward like lightning. The moment Fong Ping leaped and ran, a sound pierced through the air where he had just been standing. Kagu, a low, angry roar came from the bushes. Fong Ping did not know whether the other party was shouting for the dead person or cursing, such as die. He had never learned this before, and no one had taught him. Of course, none of that mattered at the moment. When he thought about the system's judgment that these items did not belong to him, Fong Ping knew that he was in danger. The system was a scam. Unless the items were confirmed to be his, they would only be counted as his wealth. Once it was uncertain, it would not increase. For example, when he had captured Huang Bin, the items did not necessarily belong to him, so his wealth did not increase at all. When Wang Jinyang and he had finished splitting the loot, his wealth only increased. Just then, Fong Ping realized that there might be other catacombs martial artists around, and they were not weak either. If they were too weak, with the system's nature, it might calculate for him. The system can be used as a warning device. Fong Ping could not help but think of this as he fled. He used to think that this function was a scam, but now that he thought about it, it was not bad. As for the aura that was hot on his heels, Fong Ping's vitality sensed that it was much stronger than him. It should be a rank 4 martial artist. His vitality was already as high as 999 calories. A rank 3 martial artist, even a peak martial artist, would find it difficult to break through this limit. The other party's vitality was higher than his, so there was a 99% chance that it was a rank 4, maybe even higher. Of course, the possibility of it being a rank 4 was higher. Rank 5 or 6, or someone like Tang Feng, would catch up to him in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping turned his head to look as he fled. More than 10 meters behind him, a male catacombs martial artist clad in leather armor and wielding a Chongdao glared at Fong Ping with a cold expression. The other party was hot on his heels, not even caring about the dead martial artist's corpse. This luck of mine. Fong Ping had never fought with a middle-ranked martial artist before, and he did not dare to recklessly fight the other party. he could only flee. Although middle-ranked martial artists often fought in the grinder, middle-ranked martial artists were not cabbages. Compared to such a big place, it was still difficult to encounter them. Most of them were lower-rank 3 martial artists. Fong Ping did not expect to encounter a middle-ranked martial artist as soon as he arrived. What bad luck! That bastard Big Lion even wants me to do the mission alone. I can encounter middle-ranked martial artists so easily. This is 2F asterisk King dangerous. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. During class, the teacher had also said that middle-ranked martial artists were the backbone of the catacombs and humans. They were rarely seen, and most of them were lower-rank 3 martial artists in the wild. But now, previously at the military camp, there was a bunch of middle-ranked martial artists. Now he was walking around randomly, and he encountered another one. Was this rare? This was called being seen everywhere. Okay. How did those early-stage rank 3 martial artists in the past survive? Fong Ping was extremely depressed. It was so dangerous. Did that mean that early-stage rank 3 martial artists would die the moment they entered? While Fong Ping was being pursued, to the left more than 10 kilometers away from him, Tang Feng frowned and said in a low voice, "Is Skygate City about to make a big move? There are more middle-ranked martial artists than before." As he said that, Tang Feng continued, "Don't panic if you encounter a middle-ranked martial artist. Among our martial artists, there are middle-ranked ones hunting too. You can run back to ask for help. The chances of encountering our middle-ranked martial artists are high. The other party won't dare to keep chasing you. Remember, if you encounter a middle-ranked martial artist, don't run too deep. The appearance of the other party's middle-ranked martial artists means that the chances of our middle-ranked martial artists appearing in front of you are low. Also, the deeper you go, the more powerhouses there are in Skygate City. Don't run away recklessly." Everyone nodded. They understood this principle. Chapter 240. The Grinder. Although Fong Ping's speed was not slow, the catacombs martial artist chasing after him was a middle-ranked martial artist. His speed was also extremely fast. Fong Ping's heart was filled with anger. Tang Feng's reprimand was enough. Fu Changding and the others also felt that it was not a good thing for him to team up with them. Then he was left behind by Tang Feng. Then he was ambushed and almost had his throat pierced. Now, a middle-ranked martial artist was chasing after him relentlessly, wanting to kill him. How was he supposed to reason? "Did I kill your lover?" Fong Ping turned his head and scolded. He did not care if the other party could understand him. He gave him the middle finger. "Keep chasing. Let's see who can outlast the other." It had to be said that body language was always the best way to express oneself. When Fong Ping showed his disdain and gave him the middle finger, the martial artist's originally cold face suddenly filled with anger, and he suddenly sped up. When Fong Ping saw this, he was shocked. He hurriedly released his vitality and ran away. "Just you wait. Do you really think a rank 4 martial artist vitality is much higher than mine? When your vitality is exhausted, I'll kill you." Fong Ping ran like the wind. His manic explosion was actually only average. Until now, he could only perform 4 consecutive outbursts. However, Fong Ping's cloud step was not weak. When he released an outburst, he could probably run at a speed close to 30 meters per second. If he could sustain this speed, he could reach 108 kilometers per hour. It was extremely rare for martial artists in the 3 lower ranks to reach such a high outburst speed. Of course, the vitality consumption was not low either. Just as Fong Ping was frantically running away, he suddenly felt energy particles fluctuating in front of him. Fong Ping was shocked and quickly turned. The moment he turned, the air vibrated. A spear pierced through the air with an explosive sound. Another one. Fong Ping was shocked. Another rank 4. Had he entered a thief's lair? Thinking about it, Fong Ping still ran away hurriedly. There were 2 rank for martial artists. There was no way he could fight them. Just as he escaped the spear's attack range, a martial artist with some black paint on his face jumped out from the bushes and quickly communicated with the martial artist chasing Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not listen. He would not understand even if he did. He only knew that he was in trouble. In the grinder, there were enemies everywhere. If one were to run around randomly here, it would be very easy to encounter the other party's cultivators. If one continued running like this, they might not be able to shake off their opponents before they were surrounded and killed. I have to think of a way. What about the human warriors? Fong Ping was slightly anxious. Weren't there very few middle ranks? Damn it, there were already 2 of them. Looking around, it was all grassland, but there was a shadowy area on the left, forest. Fong Ping was a little hesitant. During the lessons, including during the practical period, the instructors had always told him not to enter the forest. The forest was a good place to seek refuge, but it was also a good place to seek death. It was not just a problem for the catacombs martial artists. Some of the catacombs creatures were also extremely dangerous. In the forest, he might encounter opponents more terrifying than martial artists. Should I enter the forest? Big lion, you bastard, come and save me. Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. He tilted his head to look at the 2 martial artists who were hot on his heels. If this went on, who knew how many more martial artists would be lured out? The catacombs martial artists were not stupid. If they were not completely confident, they would not chase after their opponents without restraint. Now that they were chasing him relentlessly, it was very possible that he had really entered a den of thieves. Otherwise, in the grinder, these catacombs martial artists would also have to be careful of being ambushed by human martial artists. I have to enter even if I don't want to. I don't know how many martial artists are hiding in the bushes within a radius of tens of miles. I might lure a whole bunch of them out later. Fong Ping's expression kept changing. Just as he was about to enter the forest, martial artists appeared in his surroundings again. #Yen. Fong Ping did not know how the other party communicated. Soon, 4 or 5 martial artists appeared around Fong Ping and began to chase after him. Whoosh! Fong Ping was running toward the forest on the left with all his might when he suddenly heard the sound of something slicing through the air. Fong Ping's expression changed. With a roar, he disappeared on the spot instantly, his face slightly pale. Behind him, a long arrow carrying a blood-red glow instantly smashed the surrounding vegetation into pieces. Damn it! Fong Ping's expression was no longer dejected, but solemn. He had encountered a rank for archer. Releasing vitality and leaving the body with an arrow was at least a rank for martial artist patent. On Earth, there were very few martial artists who learned archery. The main reason was that martial artists in the 3 lower ranks, even those at upper stage and peak rank 3, found it difficult to leave the body with an arrow. If they could not do this, the lethality of a bow, an arrow would be limited. Therefore, martial artists in the 3 lower ranks would almost never learn this. Everyone was very short on time and did not even have enough time to cultivate combat techniques. Where would they find the time to learn archery? However, once they entered the middle ranks, vitality would leave the body and be shot with an arrow, and the lethality would not be low. If an upper stage rank 3 martial artist like Fong Ping was shot in a vital spot, he would also die. Even if it hit somewhere else, a rank for martial artist vitality could still break through his defense and injure him. Whoosh! Just as Fong Ping dodged the arrow, another arrow was shot from behind. Bastard! Fong Ping cursed angrily. His footsteps trembled again, and his figure appeared 10 meters away. His face paled again, but it quickly recovered its rosy color. 3 rank for martial artists, plus a few martial artists in the 3 lower ranks. There was even a long-range archer among them. This lineup was enough to surround and kill a rank 4 or 5 martial artists. Fong Ping did not hesitate. His legs were like a phantom, and he sprinted toward the forest in front of him. As for vitality consumption, No one cared about that at this time. After dodging a few arrows in a row, Fong Ping was already close to the forest. At this moment, he had already shaken off the few lower-ranked martial artists, but the 3 middle-ranked martial artists were hot on his heels. The catacombs martial artists also realized that they might have caught a big fish. A rank 3 martial artist who could escape the pursuit of 3 big rank for martial artists. A martial artist like this, the weaker he was, the more he needed to be killed. Otherwise, when the other party entered the middle ranks, it would be terrible. None of the 3 rank for martial artists gave up. Even the catacombs martial artists would not enter the forest easily. At this moment, however, the moment Fong Ping entered, the 3 of them rushed straight in without hesitation. Phew, Fong Ping panted softly. He wandered around the forest. At this time, he did not care if he got lost or not. He did not even know where he was being chased to. It did not matter where he went. After slightly recovering his chi, Fong Ping leaped into the air and landed on the crown of a large tree. The animals and plants in the catacombs were huge, and so were the trees. This did not look like an old forest deep in the mountains, but the trees were already incomparably huge. Fong Ping hid his body under the leaves, held his breath, and restrained his vitality. Creak, in the forest there was a faint sound of a tree snapping. Fong Ping concentrated and calmed his chi. He looked in the direction of the sound from the corner of his eyes. The catacombs martial artists had chased him in. Jiliago, the other party's discussion could be heard faintly. Fong Ping could not understand, so he could only guess. Split up. In the next moment, Fong Ping's jaw dropped. The 3 rank for martial artists in his line of sight had really split up. F*CK. I'm a language genius. Fong Ping's thoughts were a little scattered. He could even guess this. Among them, the saber-wielding martial artist who had been chasing Fong Ping after killing the martial artist earlier was now walking in the direction where Fong Ping was hiding. Of the other 2, one was holding a gun and had black paint on his face. As for the last person, he was holding a bow in his hand and carrying a quiver on his back. Most importantly, it was a woman. Fong Ping was sure that he did not see wrong. It was a woman. If close combat isn't enough, will long-range combat make up for it? Fong Ping retracted his gaze. These rank for martial artist senses were not weak. If they stared for a long time, they would be able to sense it. What do I do now? These people will find out sooner or later. The catacombs martial artists were not fools. These people rarely looked at other parts of the forest. They only stared at the treetops. As for those martial artists who only looked at the ground in Fong Ping's imagination, the 3 of them did not do that. It'll be hard to ambush them. I'll be discovered as soon as I move. I'm no match for 3 rank for martial artists. If I'm discovered, I'll be surrounded and my path blocked. It'll be hard to escape. Fong Ping was a little irritated. He was getting more and more annoyed with Big Lion. What happened to the saying that there were not many middle-ranked martial artists? In reality, Fong Ping did not know that he had already gone far beyond the 30-kilometer range. After running for his life just now, he was now within the 50-kilometer range. This place was more than 30 kilometers away from Sky Gate City. It belonged to Sky Gate City's hunting area. Usually it would be fine if upper stage rank 3 martial artists approached this area. Recently, however, the situation in the catacombs had changed. There were more and more middle-ranked martial artists here. This caused Fong Ping to panic and run into 3 middle-ranked martial artists in no time. Seeing the saber-wielding martial artist getting closer and closer, Fong Ping felt a headache coming on. He glanced at the other 2 martial artists from the corner of his eyes. If I'm more than 50 meters away, I'll need 2 seconds to rush over with an outburst. But with the trees in the way, I'll need at least 3 to 4 seconds. 3 to 4 seconds. Can I kill this guy? Fong Ping's thoughts ran wild. This was not a middle stage rank 3 martial artist. This was a rank 4 martial artist. How could he be so easy to kill? If it was so easy to kill, he would not have run earlier. My advantage is that my vitality can be replenished quickly. Martial artists in the 3 middle ranks, unless they're peak rank 6 and have strong mentality, can ignore vitality. Other martial artists have to consider this. Rank 4 martial artists have 2,000 calories vitality, which is the limit. Geniuses aren't everywhere. Not everyone can break through the limit. This guy has been chasing me for so long. I've used up close to 500 calories vitality. Even if he is less than me, he's probably at least 200 to 300 calories, but it's still too little. Fong Ping frowned. Such a small amount of vitality was not very useful. Moreover, there were 3 people here. It was not good to use force. I have to separate them and kill them individually. I'll pretend that my vitality is exhausted. Yes, these people don't know that my vitality is unlimited. I've already used up a lot of energy. Later, I'll ambush this person and exchange a few blows with him. Then, I'll pretend that I'm going all out. Then, I'll run away quickly and make them separate. Thinking of this, Fong Ping saw that the other party was almost at his side. He gripped his Chongdao tightly and prepared to attack. In the next moment, when the saber-wielding martial artist had just reached the big tree where Fong Ping was, Fong Ping descended quickly from above. His Chongdao glowed red, and he slashed down violently. The other party had been on guard. Seeing this, he was not surprised but delighted. With a low growl, his Chongdao glowed even brighter than Fong Ping's and slashed down. Bang! A loud noise was heard. Fong Ping's perlicue split open, but he did not hesitate. He raised his saber and slashed down again. Bang bang sounds echoed through the forest. The saber-wielding catacombs martial artist's expression was solemn, but he did not panic. When a rank 3 martial artist was surrounded by 3 rank 4 martial artists, using a big move was basically asking for death. Even if they could stop him for a while, the others could quickly kill this martial artist who had exhausted his vitality regardless of the consequences. Kuji Wia, the saber-wielding martial artist, said coldly as he counterattacked, "Exhausted your limited abilities?" Fong Ping helped to translate, but his expression was one of grief and indignation. "If you understand what I'm saying, I'll consider you powerful. If you don't, I'll tell you that you'll be the first one I kill later. Don't think that I've exhausted a lot of vitality. My vitality will be full soon, and I'll kill you." The 4 consecutive slashes hit twice in a row. Fong Ping did not feel good, and the other party took a few steps back. At this time, the other 2 people had closed in quickly. Fong Ping's face was pale. He did not get entangled. In the next moment, he stepped on the trees and quickly fled into the depths of the forest. The 3 catacombs martial artists met. As they chased, the saber-wielding martial artist said something in a low voice. He was probably explaining Fong Ping's situation. Fong Ping had slashed 8 times in a row earlier. Even if he was a rank 4 martial artist, his perlicue was torn and blood flowed. If he was like this, Fong Ping was even worse. A rank 3 martial artist vitality was probably close to the danger line. If they did not chase now, the other party could still recover slowly. However, if they ran so hard, they would not even have time to recover. In the eyes of the 3, this martial artist who came from the land of hope would definitely die. The 3 of them chased after him, all the way into the depths of the forest. At the same time, outside the forest, Huang Jing stopped slowly. He looked coldly at the long-haired youth who was walking in the air not far away. Although he was a youth, the other party's eyes were extremely deep. "I've met a big guy," Huang Jing mumbled. Huang Jing mumbled. Sky Gate City was probably about to launch an attack. A high-ranked powerhouse had actually appeared in the core area of the grinder. High-ranked powerhouses, including human grandmaster martial artists, would rarely appear in the grinder unless it was a big battle. This was the training ground that both sides had agreed to. It was prepared for middle and lower-ranked martial artists. The appearance of a high-ranked powerhouse also meant that a big battle was about to begin. They had begun to clean up the enemy martial artists who crossed ranks. If Lu Fengru finds out that I lost her student, Huang Jing mumbled dryly. That kid insisted on running deeper. You can't blame me, can you? He had seen Fong Ping when he left the team alone. In the end, he saw the kid running further and further away. Huang Jing did not know what Fong Ping was thinking. When he saw Fong Ping being surrounded by a few rank 4s, he had just appeared when someone came from the opposite side. He watched helplessly as Fong Ping entered the forest, followed by the 3 rank for martial artists. Huang Jing was helpless. He really did not have King lose him on purpose, who knew that a high-ranked martial artist would come from the opposite side. This is troublesome. Sighing softly, Huang Jing stopped nagging. In the next second, both of them appeared in midair at the same time. With a loud rumble, the weeds on the ground were all reduced to dust. Within a radius of 20 to 30 meters, it became an empty no-man's land. Huang Jing let out a low roar. A golden light flashed across his face. In front of his eyes, an invisible sharp blade appeared. As if it was going to cut the void open, the young-looking man opposite him did not change his expression. He let out a low roar. A tiger's roar came from the sky, and he pounced on Huang Jing. This isn't enough. The invisible sharp blades in front of Huang Jing shot out one after another. Between the two of them, there was a loud sound of metal exploding. The aftermath spread. The soil on the ground caved in. The weeds seemed to be cut by an invisible force, spreading outwards rapidly, forming a larger empty area. While Huang Jing was fighting with his opponent's mentality, he did not stay idle. He stepped into the air and went straight for his opponent. Boom! An even louder roar sounded. Both of them fell to the ground at the same time, kicking up a shower of soil under their feet. The place where both of them stood had created a huge pit. Looks like there's still a chance. If that kid can hold on a little longer, he might be able to kill you. Huang Jing grinned. Just as he finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. Mother of Cur, you're bullying me with numbers. After cursing, Huang Jing's figure moved. The air crackled. At this moment, his speed had exceeded the speed of sound. At a speed invisible to the naked eye, Huang Jing appeared on top of his opponent's head. Both of his hands were blood red. In the void above his opponent's head, Huang Jing roared and tore at both sides abruptly. The catacomb's high-ranked youth's face flushed red instantly. The top of his head turned from invisible to tangible. A ferocious tiger-like beast was being torn apart by Huang Jing's hands. Kagu! In the next moment, the youth roared. The ferocious tiger above his head also roared violently, pouncing toward Huang Jing madly. You're too inexperienced. Huang Jing laughed heartily. Invisible sharp blades appeared in front of him again, hitting the already translucent, ferocious tiger beast with loud bangs. The speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, the ferocious tiger beast was sliced by the sharp blades until it looked a little illusory. At this moment, a silhouette flew over in midair from afar. Huang Jing humphed. There were two great high-ranked martial artists. He was alone. If he stayed, he would only be courting death. However, even if he retreated, he could not just leave like this. Two great high-ranked martial artists had appeared in Sky Gate City. This was not a small matter. There were hundreds and thousands of human middle and low-ranked martial artists here at the grinder. With two great high-ranked martial artists here, if he left, there would be countless casualties. Old Ko didn't even respond. How is he keeping watch? Huang Jing cursed in his heart. There were also grandmasters keeping watch here at the grinder. Now that the other party had not come to rescue them, they might also be entangled. He did not think too much about this. There were many human grandmasters, If he kept these two occupied, there would soon be grandmasters coming to stop the opposing high-ranked powerhouses. Ha! Huang Jing roared. His hands exerted force again. With a crack, the ferocious tiger was torn apart. In the next moment, Huang Jing's face turned pale as well. He quickly retreated to the left. He did not retreat backward. The high-ranked powerhouse who had just arrived let out a low growl when he saw this. The pale-faced youth on the ground hit his head and stepped into the air, chasing after Huang Jing. The other party did not return to Hope City. Instead, he fled to the left. Both of them knew what he meant. He wanted to lure them into a pursuit. However, with two great high ranks here, they were not afraid of Huang Jing. Although the high-ranked youth's mentality had been torn apart earlier, and he was quite injured, Huang Jing was definitely not as relaxed as he appeared to be. Both of them chased after Huang Jing at lightning speed. It was not until the three of them had left that some martial artists carefully walked out from around the grasslands. Chapter 241. In the depths of the forest, Fang Ping roared. His face was pale as a sheet, and he unleashed the consecutive slashes again. "Come on, keep chasing," Fang Ping roared. Then, realizing that the other party did not understand, he immediately changed his language and shouted, "Nayagukali!" The saber-wielding martial artist who took on Fang Ping's 4 slashes once again was stunned. He could not help but turn his head to look at the other two, who were about to catch up. The three of them looked at each other, and their eyes were filled with confusion. Very quickly, however, the three of them stopped thinking about this. The saber-wielding martial artist Chang Dao erupted with a crimson blood-red glow, slashing horizontally at Fang Ping. Fang Ping roared, "Nayagukali!" According to Old Man Li, this was a serious provocation. Now that things had come to this, Fang Ping was deliberately provoking the other party, especially this saber-wielding martial artist. This bastard had chased him for so long, and he had killed him time and time again. His strength was only SOSO. If it were not for the 3 rank 4s surrounding him, Fang Ping really wanted to exhaust him to death. In the end, this provocation might have come too fiercely. Just as he shouted these words, the saber-wielding martial artist suddenly revealed a look of contempt and disdain. In the next moment, the saber-wielding martial artist's saber flickered with a bloody light, and the stench of blood could almost be smelled. Fang Ping's expression changed drastically. He had been negligent. He could go big, but it wasn't like his opponent couldn't. Fang Ping did not dare to take the attack head-on. He turned around and ran. Even though he was running as fast as he could, Fang Ping still felt his back being torn apart. His internal organs were severely injured. He staggered as he fled into the distance. The saber-wielding martial artist's face paled slightly. Fang Ping was fast enough to avoid being hit head-on. Only his back was hit by the saber's glare. If Fang Ping had taken it head-on just now, this slash would have been enough to severely injure or even kill him. Pooh! Fang Ping spat out a mouthful of tainted blood. He held the resurrection pill in his hand, but he could not bring himself to consume it. He had only exchanged for one, and this was just the beginning. Now that he had used it, what should he do next? "Big Lion, damn you, didn't you say that there were not many middle-ranked martial artists?" Fang Ping cursed again. It was too infuriating. Upper stage, rank 3 martial artists were hanging around 50 kilometers away. He was only 30 kilometers away. Wait, am I really 30 kilometers away? Fang Ping began to doubt himself. He had been running for so long. Could it be that he had gone deeper? Mountain forest, mountain forest. Fang Ping started recalling the sand table he had seen at the martial arts university. Where's the forest again? North of Hope City, the front, there are a total of 6 forests. None of them are within 10 kilometers. All of them have been chopped down. There are 2 within 30 kilometers, but I don't think I'm within 30 kilometers. That leaves 4. Which forest am I in? Fong Ping's head was as big as a cow's. Then his face turned even paler. That's not right. There aren't any forests in the north. North is the marching route of the two armies. There are no forests. I went the wrong way. In the straight line between the two cities, there were no forests. There were mountains, small hills, but there were no trees. They had all been cut down. Only on the two flanks were there forests. There are two in the northeast and two in the northwest. Where am I? Fong Ping was at a loss. Right? Which way was north? Of course, he knew which way was north on the map, but he was dizzy from running. Which way was north? He had circled the forest countless times. Where was the north? Hope City was in the south. Where was the south? I'm lost. We're finished this time. Fong Ping could not care less about the three people chasing after him. If he got lost in the catacombs, he would be finished. Just as Fong Ping was vomiting blood and panicking about getting lost, the sky that had been bright earlier suddenly turned dark. It was dark. Night had arrived. Once night arrived, the three martial artists chasing after him were overjoyed. The tough guy in front of them should be dead now. Middle-ranked martial artists had night vision and could see very clearly at night. As for martial artists of the three lower ranks, even peak rank 3, they could only see blurry. Once night arrived, the other party's vision would not be as clear as theirs. It would be strange if they did not die. Night has arrived. Fong Ping expended a lot of vitality again. He flashed and leaped, shaking off the people behind him. He ran a long distance, almost crashing into a tree. After much effort, he found a big tree and hid at the top. The night in the catacombs is too dark, and it comes too quickly. There was a clear distinction between day and night in the catacombs. There was no evening, no rising sun, and no setting sun. The big sun above his head seemed to change direction suddenly, turning from day to night. This was the sunrise and sunset in the catacombs, completed in the blink of an eye. After calming his restless vitality, Fong Ping touched his back. Fortunately, he was wearing a rank for leather armor. The saber glow did not penetrate the armor. But Fong Ping knew that his back was already a bloody mess from the saber glow sticking together with his underwear. I'm afraid they think that my night vision is bad, so they'll definitely take action at night. Fong Ping calculated in his heart again. I don't rely on my vision, but on sensing energy particles. It's not obvious in the day, but with the sun, energy particles fill every corner. At night, when the sun is gone, I can sense it more clearly. Like last night, I could sense grandmasters high up in the sky. In the catacombs, mentality is more active. If they think that I can't see and can kill me, just wait and see. Fong Ping narrowed his eyes. Maybe this was his chance. In the dark, even rank 4 martial artists would be greatly affected. Seeing people was not as beneficial as seeing energy particles. If I kill 3 rank 4 martial artists and say that I'm useless, I'll kill all of them. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. Then he thought of Big Lion abandoning him. Maybe he went the wrong way, but it was also Big Lion's responsibility. Abandoning me and running away. We'll settle this score. Fong Ping muttered, once again restoring his vitality and mentality to full. Only 78 million left. Fong Ping looked at his wealth, feeling a little heartache. In just a short while, he had spent 1 million wealth points. Unfortunately, the things he got were not calculated for his wealth points. If this went on, if he was constantly being hunted, did it not mean that his wealth points would never increase? Is this a reminder that I can die at any time and can't keep my things? Not thinking about this anymore, Fong Ping held his breath and maintained a state of silence, while the mountain forest was quiet. In the distance outside the forest, there was a constant roar. High-ranked powerhouses were fighting. Fong Ping did not know that at this moment, more than 30 li to his left, many high-ranked powerhouses had gathered and were engaged in a chaotic battle. Tang Feng was right about one thing. In the catacombs, it was best to rely on oneself and the protection of instructors. Relying on others for protection was not reliable. These people could encounter powerhouses at any time, and a great battle would break out. After resting for half an hour, Fong Ping did not continue hiding. I can't give that saber-wielding martial artist time to recover. Moreover, the cultivationating energy stones are my spoils of war. Thinking of this, Fong Ping jumped down from the big tree and deliberately stepped on a branch, making a crisp, crunching sound in the dark night. At this time, Fong Ping tore a few strips of cloth from his body and threw them in 3 directions behind the big tree. He himself rushed in the direction where the energy particles were moving. When he was about 50 meters away from the energy particles, Fong Ping lightly leaped onto the treetop and did not make a sound. Very quickly, 3 martial artists swept past him at high speed. When they reached the tree Fong Ping had been on earlier, they clearly saw the strip of cloth, but they did not rush to give chase. The saber-wielding martial artist leaped into the air and slashed at the crown of the tree Fong Ping had been on earlier. When the saber-wielding martial artist landed, he shook his head slightly. Fong Ping also saw this action. He did not see the person. Right now, he could not see the few people dozens of meters away. He only saw that the energy particles on one of the people's heads were shaking. Interesting. I haven't experienced such benefits before. Fong Ping thought it was interesting. Moreover, there were differences in the distribution of energy particles in the human body. There were very few on the head, most on the limbs, and most on the torso. Is it an X-ray? Fong Ping made an analogy for the perception of mentality, and it was quite similar. When they did not see Fong Ping on the big tree, the 3 of them discussed in low voices for a while. Then they patrolled the surrounding trees, but still did not see Fong Ping. Their patrolling range was within 10 meters. Obviously, these people felt that if Fong Ping really wanted to hide, he should hide in a place where he could see them and not in a place where he could not see them. When they did not find Fong Ping, the 3 of them discussed in low voices again. 2 of them split up and searched in the direction of the strips of cloth. The other person, on the other hand, made light movements. He leaped into the air and landed on the tree Fong Ping had just left. Obviously, the catacombs martial artists also knew the principle of waiting for a hare to come to them. The one left is a saber-wielding martial artist. Fong Ping was slightly surprised. The reason why he made this judgment was because the concentration of the other person's energy particles was slightly lower than the other 2. Obviously, the other person did not fully replenish his vitality during the battle of attrition during the day. After waiting for about 2 minutes, Fong Ping was not in a hurry to find trouble with this fellow. Instead, he turned and searched in another direction. When he sensed that the other person's energy particles were really moving forward, Fong Ping chased in another direction. These catacombs martial artists were not idiots. Fong Ping had to be wary of the 3 of them setting a trap for him. In the end, Fong Ping did not sense the existence of energy particles in the second direction. Bastard. They really set a trap for me. Fake and real. They really have a way. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. There was no need to guess. The second person was probably near the saber-wielding martial artist. It would not be more than 100 meters away. If that's the case, then I'll look for the one who's alone. Fong Ping hesitated no more. He quickly chased in the direction where he sensed the energy particles moving. 3 minutes later, Fong Ping caught up with the other person. He was about 100 meters away from the other person. This place was close to 1,000 meters away from where he had been previously. In the middle of the night, if the 2 people heard the noise and chased over, it would probably take about 1 or 2 minutes. 1 or 2 minutes, 4 slashes per second. That's enough for me to slash 500 times. I should be able to kill him, right? Fong Ping calculated in his heart again. It was certain that rank 4 martial artists were stronger than rank 3 martial artists. The other party could also unleash an outburst, and the power of the outburst would be stronger than his. However, as long as he was careful not to be killed instantly by the other party's big move, the other party would definitely not be able to wear him down. Rank 4 martial artists hone their internal organs. Their vitality is stronger than mine. This advantage is useless. Although their physique is stronger than mine, there's a limit to how strong they are. They haven't achieved 5% of a rank 6 golden body. Qin Feng Qing, and these people have killed rank 4 martial artists before. This means that although rank 4 martial artists are strong, they can still be killed. After considering the pros and cons, Fong Ping made a decision. He did not ambush from the back. Fong Ping took a detour to the front. Less than 100 meters away from the martial artist, Fong Ping leaned against a big tree and groaned softly. The cluster of energy particles in his perception paused for a moment. Then it slowly moved toward Fong Ping. When it was about 30 meters away from Fong Ping, the other party must have seen Fong Ping clearly. His movements became lighter again. 30 meters under the night sky. Rank 3 martial artists could not see it. This was also the experience of many years. Fong Ping did not look at him. With his back facing the other party, he used his mentality to sense. His mentality could not be released, but he could form strands of mentality to detect energy. That spear-wielding martial artist, Fong Ping made a judgment. The long stick-like object in the other party's hand was now beginning to accumulate energy. Energy particles flowed on it. Archers and sabers, stay where you are. This guy is confident that he can come out alone to kill me. As Fong Ping thought about this, the Changdao in his hand found the best angle to attack. The other party kept moving toward him lightly. Obviously, he wanted to kill Fong Ping more easily. Fong Ping waited until the other party was about 10 meters away from him. Suddenly, his feet moved and he appeared in midair. At the same time, the other party's long spear pierced the tree trunk at lightning speed. The trunk of the big tree exploded. Fong Ping was waiting for this opportunity. While the other party was pulling out the spear, the Changdao flashed with a blood-red glow. He swooped down and quickly beheaded the other party's head. The other party roared, pulled back his spear, and quickly counterattacked. However, Fong Ping did not care whether he blocked or counterattacked. The blood-red glow of the Changdao burst with a dazzling light. It did not matter whether it hit the head or the long spear. He only knew that he kept slashing without stopping. The other party was temporarily unable to fight back from Fong Ping's quick slashes. He could only choose to continue defending. No matter how strong a rank 3 martial artist was, there was still a limit. If 10 slashes could not kill him, Fong Ping could not escape. As a result, after Fong Ping slashed dozens of times, the other party was slightly stunned. This was the opportunity Fong Ping had been waiting for. In the moment when the other party was slightly stunned, a blood arrow suddenly shot out of Fong Ping's mouth, heading straight for the other party's eye socket. At this moment, the other party was defending against Fong Ping's big move. When he saw the blood arrow shooting toward him, his first reaction was to tilt his head slightly to avoid the blood arrow splashing into his eyes and blocking his vision. When he tilted his head, the blood arrow's target changed from his eye socket to his cheek. The other party did not consider retreating and completely avoided the blood arrow. It was also because of this choice mistake that in the next moment, the blood arrow pierced through his cheek like a sharp blade. Then, the blood arrow went straight from his cheek to his brain. A cry of pain made the long spear in the other party's hand stop. Fong Ping did not hesitate. With a roar, the Changdao moved like a shadow, slashing horizontally at the other party's neck in an instant. Pooh! In the darkness, a ball-shaped object flew out. Fong Ping hurriedly grabbed the long spear and quickly searched the other party's body. When he found a small cloth bag, he quickly stuffed it into his arms and took off the medal on the other party's chest. This was a symbol of killing the enemy. Just as he was about to leave, Fong Ping suddenly walked quickly to the place where the other party's head had fallen. He gritted his teeth and stomped down hard. A loud bang was heard. The blood arrow method was his secret technique. He could not let the other two people know how this guy had died. In the next moment, Fong Ping left quickly, disappearing from the spot in the blink of an eye. Not long after he disappeared, two martial artists, one male and one female, had already bounced over. When they saw the headless corpse on the ground clearly, their expressions changed. They huddled together with their backs against each other, vigilantly observing their surroundings. Fong Ping did not care about their reactions. After finding a new place, Fong Ping observed his surroundings. He used his saber to make a few slashes on a big tree. He quickly swept away the fallen leaves on the ground and buried the long sword and long spear that he had snatched earlier. I hope I won't get lost. I hope I can find this place. Please don't lose it. Fong Ping prayed a few times. It was fine if he had lost the long sword. Fong Ping looked at the long spear. It was at least D-class alloy strength, maybe even C-class alloy strength. The spear shaft was made of metal and weighed at least 30 caddies. This was a truly valuable item, perhaps even more valuable than his Feng's widow. If he lost this, Fong Ping would cry himself to death. After burying the spear and sword, Fong Ping gritted his teeth and said, "I've killed a rank for martial artist. Let's see what you have to say this time." After saying this, Fong Ping turned and sprinted in the direction he had just left. The chances of the two of them splitting up now were not high. The archer's ability to perform at night in the forest would be severely affected. The saber-wielding martial artist had expended a lot of vitality. If he wanted to kill the two of them, he only had this chance tonight. When it was daytime, Fong Ping's advantage would be greatly reduced. Very soon, a chase took place in the forest. Fong Ping was like an unkillable cockroach, constantly attacking the two of them. When he missed, he would retreat quickly and disappear into the forest in no time. Even though he was entangled by the other party a few times and had many injuries on his body, the superficial wounds were harmless. After 2 to 3 hours of entanglement, the 2 rank for martial artist vitality was also depleted. At this time, the 2 catacombs rank for martial artists' only thought was to retreat out of the forest. They were in big trouble. Fong Ping used a big move the moment he met them. They had no idea how many times Fong Ping had used a big move. However, every time they met, his vitality was full. Although Fong Ping could not understand what the two of them were shouting, he guessed that it might be something along the lines of cheater. Of course, it was pure speculation. The two of them were probably terrified. Even if a rank 6 powerhouse's vitality was depleted, it would not recover so quickly. The chase continued until late at night. According to Fong Ping's estimation, it might be dawn soon. At this moment, Fong Ping's face was full of exhaustion. There were many wounds on his body, and his internal organs were also seriously injured. The 2 rank for martial artists did not really let him ambush them. There were a few times when they pretended not to know. The most dangerous time was when the female archer almost pierced Fong Ping's heart with her dagger. Fortunately, he was wearing leather armor which blocked part of the attack. Even so, Fong Ping's leather armor was still pierced, and the dagger stabbed a little into his chest. Huff! Fong Ping panted violently, mumbling, "I must kill them at night. More catacombs martial artists might enter during the day. I might have really entered the other party's territory. Killing 3 rank for martial artists, killing above ranks. When Big Lion kills 3 grandmasters, only then will he have the face to look down on me." Fong Ping was still angry. He was obviously still unhappy about what happened during the day, causing him to be on the run for an entire day. That was fine, but the key was the terrifying consumption of wealth. mentality and vitality needed to be replenished. Every time vitality and mentality was depleted, it was close to 5 million wealth. That night, Fong Ping replenished his energy 8 times. In addition to the previous consumption, it had exceeded 13 million wealth. The last time it was so depleted was to kill the Grand Missionary. Of course, Fong Ping felt that he could replenish it very soon. The 3 rank for martial artists would have a lot of good stuff on them. Weapons alone would probably be enough to make up for his losses. After killing the 2 of them, I have to return to Hope City as soon as possible. I'm not afraid of embarrassing myself if I go back now. I'm just afraid. A hint of worry appeared in Fong Ping's eyes. What was there to be afraid of? Afraid of not being able to find the way back. He seemed to have gone a long way into the forest. Could he really tell the direction by running around in the middle of the night? Chapter 242. A few minutes later, Fong Ping reappeared, holding his saber horizontally in front of them. Naively, Fong Ping's expression was provocative, but the 2 people opposite him were furious. They felt like they were being toyed with. Kagu! The saber-wielding martial artist's shoulder was bleeding profusely. Fong Ping's saber had almost severed his arm. However, at this moment, the saber-wielding martial artist was furious. In the catacombs, when catacombs martial artists and human martial artists met, it was a fight to the death. If one could not escape, they could only fight to the death. He did not believe that a rank 3 martial artist could not be killed. Although Fong Ping's vitality was strong and his recovery rate was shocking, it did not mean that he could not be killed. It was just that the 3 rank 4 martial artists had underestimated him, resulting in the current situation. In the next moment, the blood-red glow on the saber-wielding martial artist's Changdao reached its limit, illuminating the darkness. Seeing this, Fong Ping did not say a word. He turned and ran. He could not block a rank for martial artist's big move. Just as Fong Ping turned and ran, the female archer suddenly moved. A long arrow with a dazzling glow blocked Fong Ping's way forward. Behind him, the saber-wielding martial artist quickly caught up to Fong Ping. Fong Ping had fled halfway in the few times he risked his life. Did he really think that they were not prepared? Fong Ping, however, had made up his mind not to take the attack head-on. His toes touched the ground, and he jumped up, stepping on the trunk of the big tree beside him, continuing his escape. However, Fong Ping had really underestimated a rank for martial artist, especially one who was on the verge of death and fighting to the death. The catacombs martial artists had killed human martial artists countless times. How could they be so weak? Just as Fong Ping stepped on the tree trunk and sprinted forward, the arrow shot by the female archer suddenly changed direction, appearing behind Fong Ping in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping's hair stood on end. His mentality kept warning him, danger. Homing arrow. These 3 words flashed across Fong Ping's mind, and his expression changed drastically. Ha! With a roar, Fong Ping's spine hummed, and a blood-red glow flashed behind him. That was Fong Ping mobilizing his vitality to form a vitality defense. You can't kill me. Perhaps Fong Ping was trying to boost his confidence. He let out an angry roar. But before his voice faded away, the long arrow had already hit his back. He had miscalculated this time. He did not expect the female archer's arrow to be able to change direction and track him. This had never happened before. Creak. It was as if the arrow had hit an alloy steel plate. The arrowhead made a creaking sound of metal rubbing against each other. However, this arrow was fired by a rank 4 female archer with all her might. Even if Fong Ping mobilized his vitality to defend himself, the creaking sound lasted for a while before the sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Fong Ping's face was pale, but it turned rosy in the blink of an eye. At that moment, the saber-wielding martial artist had already caught up with him. Without a word, the dazzling glow of the saber illuminated everything within a few meters of Fong Ping in red. Fong Ping gritted his teeth and moved his legs, stepping on the void. He shifted his body to the right by force. However, the arrow had stopped him for a moment, and the other's glare still managed to hit Fong Ping's left arm. His left hand was instantly covered in blood. Droplets of blood dripped onto the withered leaves, dyeing them red. Fong Ping did not care. Now that the two rank for martial artists had unleashed their ultimate moves, their vitality was unstable. This was his chance. His opponent did not have a way to recover vitality as quickly as he did. Before he had even turned around, his right hand was already swinging the saber behind him. Boom! A loud sound of metal colliding was heard. The saber-wielding martial artist blocked the attack with his saber, then retreated quickly to meet up with the female archer. Both of them unleashed a large amount of vitality, prepared to kill Fong Ping in one blow, who knew that they would still fall short of success. All of this was because Fong Ping's vitality recovered too quickly. While defending against the female archer's homing arrow, his vitality was constantly replenished, making up for the hole in his vitality defense. Although it was still broken through in the end, he was only injured and not killed directly. At that moment, if it had been anyone else, even a rank 4, who was hit by an arrow and used their vitality for defense, it would have been difficult for them to block the saber-wielding martial artist's move. Fong Ping, on the other hand, once again used a large amount of vitality to forcefully shift himself to the side, dodging another fatal blow. The two catacombs martial artists looked at each other. Their faces were pale and bitter. They were not weak. If it had been a rank 4 human martial artist, he would have been killed by them long ago. However, the person in front of them was far beyond their expectations. The other party might not be very strong, but his seemingly endless vitality allowed him to maintain his peak condition. When martial artists fought, most of the time, the battle would end in a few minutes or even a few seconds. Just like now, after being entangled for a few hours, his mind was strained and his vitality was depleted. This kind of thing rarely happened. Fong Ping's saber swept across, forcing the enemy to retreat, but he did not chase after them. Gritting his teeth, Fong Ping's back muscles squirmed, squeezing out the arrow that had almost pierced his heart from his back. Blood spurted from the wound on his back. Fong Ping's muscles squirmed again, sealing the wound. The wound on his back was simply treated. His left hand had been penetrated by the saber. Now his meridians were damaged, and his vitality was in a mess. Even if Fong Ping's vitality recovered, he would not be able to use his left hand to fight the enemy for a while. I've underestimated you. Fong Ping gritted his teeth, sweat dripping from his forehead. Your vitality is almost depleted. I don't want to let you escape. Bring more people to kill me. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping's Chongdao whistled through the air, sweeping toward the two of them. The two catacombs martial artists looked at each other. The saber-wielding martial artist suddenly said something. The female archer's expression changed, but she did not reply. The saber-wielding martial artist did not say anything else. Just as Fong Ping's Chongdao swept toward him, he unleashed the last of his vitality. A blood-red glow flashed in his hand, and he grabbed Fong Ping's Chongdao. With a roar, he dragged it backward. Fong Ping, who was a rank 3, was no match for the other party in terms of strength. He was instantly dragged backward. Of course, the other party was not feeling good either. His hand was already a bloody mess. After dragging a Chongdao, the other party did not continue. Instead, he closed the distance between him and Fong Ping. The saber-wielding martial artist moved his feet, pouncing toward Fong Ping. In the blink of an eye, he had grabbed Fong Ping's arms in a death grip. Kagu! The saber-wielding martial artist was already an arrow at the end of its flight. With a sudden roar, he headbutted Fong Ping. As for the female archer who had not moved earlier, the bow in her hand was already fully drawn. Another arrow glowed with a dazzling blood-red glow, and the direction the arrow was aimed at was the two men's heads. Fong Ping's vision was blocked, so he could not see what was going on. However, his mentality could sense the fluctuations of energy. Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. He struggled for a while, but he could not break free from the other party's grasp. The saber-wielding martial artist wanted to perish together with him. Seeing that the other party's head was coming toward him, Fong Ping let out a low roar, and an arrow of blood spurted from his mouth. At such a close distance, the other party did not even bother to block. The arrow of blood pierced through his eye sockets and pierced through his skull. However, the saber-wielding martial artist was not dead yet. He was still holding on to Fong Ping in a death grip. Fong Ping had already sensed a strong sense of danger. He did not care if his neck would be broken. He tilted his head back as hard as he could. Just as he tilted his head back, the long arrow pierced through the saber-wielding martial artist's skull. It was still as fast as before, and it pierced through the tip of Fong Ping's nose. His nose felt a sharp pain, and it was wet. Fong Ping knew that his nose was probably disfigured, but at least his head was not pierced through. F***CK. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. He really did not expect these catacombs martial artists to be so ruthless. Seeing that the situation was deteriorating, the saber-wielding martial artist had actually chosen to perish together with his opponent. Thinking back on their earlier discussion, the saber-wielding martial artist had probably asked the female archer to shoot the two of them down with one arrow. At this moment, the saber-wielding martial artist was truly dead. Fong Ping elbowed him with his right hand, sending him flying a few meters away. Not far away, the female archer's face was now pale. Her vitality had been depleted, and she had unleashed 2 consecutive outbursts. At this moment, she was also at her limit. She could not even run. Seeing that Fong Ping was not dead, but his face was blood-red, the female archer's eyes showed a hint of despair. In the next moment, the female archer seemed to have thought of something. She suddenly reached into her waist and took out something from the cloth bag at her waist. She spat out a few mouthfuls of blood on it. The blood squirmed. In the blink of an eye, the pure energy particles in Fong Ping's mentality perception became a mess. Fong Ping also realized something. He gritted his teeth and said, "I'll kill you." This woman had used her vitality force to contaminate the energy stone used for cultivation, turning it into a low-purity energy stone. She knew that she was going to die, but her first thought was to destroy the energy stone instead of letting Fong Ping gain anything. In his rage, Fong Ping wielded his saber and slashed at her. The female archer grinned, but she did not retaliate. Instead, she hit her own heart hard. The sound of shattering glass could be heard, and the female archer slowly fell to the ground. Fong Ping held a Chongdao in his hand. His entire body was covered in blood, but at this moment, he stopped all his movements. His opponent had destroyed her own energy heart. The female archer's close-range combat ability was average. At this moment, her vitality was depleted, and she had nowhere to run. At this moment, her opponent destroyed the energy stone and shattered her own heart. How decisive! Fong Ping looked at his opponent's face, which was still filled with mockery and disdain, and suddenly felt a little lost. "Is this war?" Fong Ping murmured. "Even if I die, don't even think about getting anything from me." Just like during war, when soldiers were in despair, they would smash their own guns. Even if they died, they would not increase the enemy's spoils of war. Fong Ping did not say anything else. He collapsed to the ground, panting. 3 rank for martial artists were dead, but he was not in a good state either. His body was covered in wounds. Most importantly, his face might have been disfigured. Waves of pain came from his nose. "Maybe my nose will turn upward," Fong Ping murmured. He took off the small military backpack on him, took out the resurrection pill, and swallowed it. His internal organs were also severely injured. He had been holding on earlier, but now he had no choice but to take it after taking the resurrection pill. Fong Ping drank some healing water and applied some ointment on his external wounds. In the military backpack, there were only a few medicinal pills left for healing purposes. This time, he did not bring too many medicinal pills. He did not bring a single vitality pill or something like that. One resurrection pill was also used to save his life. He did not expect to use it now. After resting for a while, Fong Ping got up and walked to the saber-wielding martial artist. He searched him for a while, took off his cloth bag and badge, and held the Chongdao in his hand. Then he went to the female archer and took off her cloth bag, badge, and bow, and arrows. A few minutes later, this time he had killed 3 rank 4 martial artists and 1 rank 3 martial artist. At this moment, he had 2 weapons in his hands. One of them was a long saber that weighed more than 20 kilograms and was only as strong as a D-grade alloy. It was a rather exquisite bow. Unfortunately, the handle was made of wood, but it was very sturdy. It was unknown what kind of wood it was made of. The arrowheads of the 12 arrows were made of metal, and the shafts of the arrows were made of wood. Fong Ping did not know much about this, so he could not tell what kind of wood the arrows were made of. There are a total of 5 basic energy stones, weighing about 60 grams. There were only 3 cultivation-aiding energy stones with a purity of more than 90%, which was about 10 grams, and a few portions of dry rations. Fong Ping wanted to cry but had no tears. The catacombs martial artists were so poor. The basic energy stones and the cultivation energy stones added together cost about 10 million, maybe a little more. In terms of weapons, the long saber could be sold for 5 million at most. As for the bow and arrow, it was hard to judge the price at the moment. Yes, I also hid a sword and a spear. The spear is the most valuable. As Fong Ping thought of this, he suddenly thought of something and glanced at the saber-wielding martial artist. The heart of a middle-ranked martial artist that had been converted into energy was also valuable. Fong Ping's gaze kept changing. The female archer had destroyed her own heart. Fong Ping had been afraid of wasting time with the previous spear-wielding martial artist, so he had not considered this at that time. But now, the saber-wielding martial artist was right in front of him. This is war. Doing everything I can to improve myself is the right thing to do. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. I need to get used to all this. If I die here today, my ending won't be any better. A few minutes later, Fong Ping stuffed the energy-converted heart into the cloth bag that he had seized. After hesitating for a moment, Fong Ping waved his long saber and made a big hole in the ground, burying the 2 corpses inside. Whether it was to destroy the corpses or for other reasons, they were both martial artists. Even if they died, they deserved a place to be buried. Only now did Fong Ping check the changes in his wealth. Wealth, 83 million vitality, 999 calories, 999 calories mentality, 539 hertz, 539 hertz, bones honed, 177 bones, 90%, 29 bones, 30%. My wealth has increased by 16 million. Fong Ping glanced at it and breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that he was safe now. These spoils of war had truly become his spoils of war. However, in order to kill the 3 people, he had used up almost 15 million wealth. These spoils of war could only barely make up for what he had spent. The main thing was that these people were too poor. They were rank for martial artists. 3 rank for martial artists had actually only increased his gains by this much. No, there was still a rank 3 martial artist. 16 million is too little. The system has given me a discount again. Fong Ping was helpless. Energy ores, weapons, and hearts according to the price. It should not be this much, right? The system was just like that. It would only give less, not more. What a snob. I'll go look for the spear and long sword I buried. I should be able to increase it a little more. I wonder if it can reach 100 million. Thinking of this, Fong Ping hurriedly began to search for his buried treasures. That spear was not cheap. Wandering around in the forest, Fong Ping was currently dizzy. He could only find his direction by looking for traces of battle. He could not tell the specific direction, but he could see traces of a night's battle. Fong Ping searched in this direction. After more than an hour, Fong Ping finally found the place he had marked. At this moment, the sky suddenly brightened. Fong Ping almost cried tears of joy. He had found it. It was good that he had not lost it. When he held the spear and long sword in his hands, Fong Ping almost cried tears of joy. These were really good stuff. The spear and long sword had actually increased his wealth by 15 million in an instant. It's definitely comparable to C-grade alloy. Fong Ping was overjoyed. His wealth had also reached a new peak, 95. 3 million. In total, my wealth has increased by 31 million. If I sell them for more than 31 million, I can still increase my wealth a little more. Soon, however, Fong Ping had a headache. With 4 weapons in hand, including his own, it would be 5. It was not easy to carry them around. Moreover, looking around, there were only big trees and more big trees. Where was he? At this moment, Fong Ping was at a loss. At this moment, the sky was already bright, but in the sky, the huge sun hung directly above his head. Fong Ping could not rely on this to determine the direction. The trees were also long and straight, and the canopy did not tilt in any direction. The direction those martial artists fled in, did they go outside or to their lair? Fong Ping also did not know if he should follow the direction they fled in. What if they wanted to return to their lair in Sky Gate City? If the exit was outside Sky Gate City, then Fong Ping would cry. The direction of the catacombs can only be determined by the terrain, and landmarks the terrain. At this thought, Fong Ping hurriedly searched the ground for a while. Staring at the blackened soil, Fong Ping muttered, "Is there a difference in height?" In class, the direction with the highest terrain was north. If he walked along the lower terrain, naturally he would be south of Hope City. But now he really could not feel the difference. After thinking for a while, Fong Ping hurriedly dug in all directions for a while. He stood in the middle and began to judge. This side is higher? No, this side seems to be higher. That's not right. Fong Ping's head hurt. They were F***king, the same height. I can't stay in the forest for long. Whatever. Let's get out first. If I really reach Sky Gate City, the map doesn't say that there's a forest outside Sky Gate City. At most, I'll just be a little closer, and I'll still be able to return to Hope City. At this thought, Fong Ping hesitated no more. He could not wait for death in the forest, could he? Chapter 243. At the same time, the front line of the grinder, Tang Fong frowned. The situation seemed to be getting more and more tense. So many middle-ranked martial artists. Is the war about to start? In order to give the students a chance to practice, he had personally killed 4 middle-ranked martial artists. Even so, the situation was getting worse. Rank 4 and 5 martial artists were no match for him, but there were more catacombs martial artists than Hope City. When he killed a few middle-ranked martial artists, some powerhouses had already reacted. He turned his head to look at the students who were forming a team to kill a few rank 3 martial artists not far away. Tang Fong suddenly shouted, "Kill them quickly!" This group of students who had just entered rank 3 were still too immature. How could they not be ruthless when killing enemies in the grinder? Even if they were injured, they could not delay, or else they would only attract more and more enemies. As Tang Feng's voice fell, the students increased the rhythm of their attacks. Tang Feng watched for a while and sighed softly. "We don't have that much time for you to grow. When the chaos comes, you all have to go to the front line." As he said that, Tang Feng's expression changed slightly, but he calmed down very quickly. Huang Jing's face was yellow as he descended from the sky. He glanced at the students not far away, then looked at Tang Feng and said, "The war is about to start. I told you, there are too many middle-ranked martial artists in the grinder. Last night, the other party sent 4 high-ranked martial artists, but we defeated them. Both sides were injured, and we didn't gain any advantage. Now, it's not suitable for the students to practice here. Bring everyone back to Hope City and wait for the war." "Okay," Tang Feng responded. Huang Jing thought for a while and said suddenly, "Fong Ping is lost." What? Huang Jing's head hurt. "He's lost." "Lost?" Tang Feng was dumbfounded. He asked hurriedly, "Isn't he with old Zheng and the others?" Huang Jing looked at him strangely. After a while, he said, "Yesterday, right after you left, he went northeast." "Alone?" "Alone. Then now, yesterday I saw him heading northeast alone. I followed him for a while and encountered Sky Tiger from Sky Gate City. Sky Tiger had just broken through to rank 7, and his combat strength was average, but then Goose Spear attacked." Huang Jing shook his head helplessly. "I went to take a look this morning. He was forced into the Jiao's forest yesterday. 3 rank 4s chased him all the way in, but the Jiao's forest covers an area of almost 100 miles. I can't find him anymore." "I can't find it." Tang Feng's expression darkened, and he said in a low voice, "Dead? I don't know." Huang Jing shook his head and said, "I can only roughly investigate once, and I can't stay for long. Sky Gate City is keeping an eye on us now. I'll go look for it. It'll be the same, even if you go. It's such a big place, and it's all forest. Where are you going to find it?" Huang Jing shook his head again and said, "Bring the students back to the city. I'll go investigate again. If I really can't find it." Huang Jing did not say anything else. If he really could not find it, he could only pray that Fong Ping was lucky. The war was about to start. Grandmasters like them, including a rank 6 like Tang Feng, had to stay in Hope City. They could not let these rank 6 and 7 powerhouses keep looking for Fong Ping. Tang Feng's expression was ugly. I thought he did not think that Fong Ping would really go out and farm alone. At that time, Fong Ping had been pushing and pushing, saying that he did not want to split up. In Tang Feng's eyes, Fong Ping obviously wanted to move with the rank 2s. This made him very unhappy. Who knew? He was really provoked, and he left the team alone. Huang Jing did not know what to say either. He said helplessly, "He's a young man after all. Hot-blooded, he was too provoked, and he took it seriously." Tang Feng said that the upper stage rank 3 powerhouses were 50 kilometers away. In the end, Fong Ping really ran 50 kilometers away. Now, Sky Gate City was preparing to launch a war. The middle and high-ranked powerhouses were cleaning up the battlefield near the grinder. The human middle and high-ranked powerhouses could only return to defend now. Fong Ping was lost, especially lost in the forest. It was really difficult to find him. This was not the main point. Huang Jing rubbed his temples, glanced at Tang Feng, and said with a slight headache, "Fong Ping is lost. If he really doesn't come back, MCMU will be in trouble." Tang Feng remained silent. He understood the dean's meaning. Fong Ping was very talented. His mentality could be sensed, his vitality was unlimited, and his breakthroughs were extremely fast. At this time, they had lost him the first time he went to the catacombs. To put it bluntly, he might have already died in the catacombs. If he died in a normal battle, Lu Fengru might not say anything. However, 97 students were all safe and sound. Only Fong Ping was lost. One could imagine what kind of trouble Huang Jing was talking about. Tang Feng took a deep breath. After a while, he said, "I'll bring the students back first. I'll look for him later." Right now, the area around the Jiao's forest is extremely dangerous. There are high-ranked martial artists active. Look for him. I'll be back before the war. Hearing that, Huang Jing did not say anything else. He said softly, "Be careful. Also, you'd better avoid Feng Rou. Tang Feng lowered his head and said nothing. Fong Ping had been provoked by him to go solo, and then he had been chased into the Jiao's forest. If Lu Fengru knew about it, she would not be Lu Fengru if she did not fight him to the death. This was clear evidence, and it was different from dying in battle. Tang Feng did not say anything. He continued to watch the students who were surrounding and killing the rank 3 martial artist. After waiting for more than 10 minutes, a few students killed the opponent's martial artist at the cost of being injured. Seeing this, Tang Feng said in a deep voice, "I'll take him back first. I'll go to the Jiao's forest to take a look, but I can't go too deep. The Jiao in the Jiao's forest is usually quiet. If we go in, we'll immediately attract its hostility." Tang Feng nodded. Although the Jiao in the Jiao's forest rarely showed itself, the Jiao's forest was its territory. If a grandmaster entered, it would definitely retaliate. The Jiao's forest. Naturally, Fong Ping did not know that he was currently in the Jiao's forest. From what he remembered, the Jiao's forest was still quite a distance away from him. Although the Jiao's forest was said to be between the 2 cities, in reality, only a part of it was between the 2 cities. Most of it deviated from the 2 places and covered the outside of another big city in the catacombs. In the forest, Fong Ping moved forward carefully. Sometimes when he saw some plants, he would go forward to check if they were precious items from the illustrated handbook. However, most of them ended in disappointment. What kind of lousy place is this? Didn't they say that medicinal herbs from the catacombs are everywhere? Fong Ping cursed as he walked for a while. He did not even know how far he had walked. He only knew that his vitality and mentality were becoming more and more active. This is troublesome. Fong Ping was not really stupid. At this moment, he also realized that he might have gone in the wrong direction. Where was the place where vitality was active? A place with a high concentration of energy. Hope City was actually just a barren land. The energy there was not that rich. A place with a high concentration of energy also meant that he was going deeper into the catacombs. When he felt the shocking activity of his vitality and the excitement of his mentality, Fong Ping knew that it was time for him to turn around. In the catacombs, other than the terrain, the concentration of energy particles could also be used to determine the direction. Of course, sometimes it was not that accurate. Feeling that the concentration of energy particles in front of him was very high, Fong Ping stopped moving forward. Instead, he probed carefully, looking for the direction with the lowest concentration of energy particles, then turned around and walked away. Luckily, my mentality is very strong. Fong Ping was a little relieved. If it were someone else, even if they had a good sense of direction, the possibility of getting lost in the forest was extremely high. He was lucky that he could sense the energy particles and could choose the direction with the lowest concentration of energy particles to move forward. Following the direction with the lowest concentration of energy particles, Fong Ping kept moving forward. This should be the south. If he kept going, he should be able to leave the forest and return to Hope City. Huang Jing patrolled the periphery of the Jiao's forest. Finally, he found the corpses of the martial artists that Fong Ping had killed. This kid killed 3 rank for martial artists. Huang Jing was also a little shocked. Then he frowned and said, "This place is only 20 li away from the forest. Did he go out, or—" Huang Jing thought for a while. He patrolled along the direction where he went out, but he did not find any traces of Fong Ping's movements. He didn't go out. Huang Jing quickly returned to his original spot and looked deeper into the forest. After a while, the corner of his mouth twitched. He went deeper. If he continued walking in the direction where Fong Ping killed the 2 martial artists, 20 li was not too far for a martial artist. However, Fong Ping did not choose this direction. Instead, he went deeper. Was he going to kill the Jiao? This kid, what is he thinking? Huang Jing had a slight headache. The Jiao was a peak rank 7 creature. Moreover, this kind of creature had thick skin and flesh. Even a rank 8 golden body powerhouse might not be a match for it. Fong Ping went deeper. This was really troublesome. Huang Jing was about to move, but after thinking for a while, he suddenly turned around and left. He could not go deeper. Dragons did not care if ants entered their territory, but if another dragon invaded their territory, there would definitely be a huge war. Now, the situation was critical. Sky Gate City's army was ready to go. If Huang Jing fought the Jiao and got seriously injured, it would affect the war situation of the entire Magic City catacombs. The energy particles are getting lower and lower. I'm going out. Fong Ping's face showed a hint of joy. Suddenly, Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. The energy particles are gone. In the catacombs, there was no place that did not have energy particles. However, at this moment, in Fong Ping's mentality, the energy particles were really gone. Suddenly, it became a blank area. Gone. Fong Ping felt that his brain was not enough to process it. How could it be gone? At this moment, the scene in front of him became clear. The forest that was full of trees earlier suddenly became empty. The surrounding trees were still tall, but there was an empty space in the middle. There was no cave, only an empty space. In the middle of the empty space, there was a beast with a golden body. Fong Ping sensed that the energy particles were gone. It was not really gone, but this beast was guiding the energy particles into its body. In Fong Ping's perception, this beast was like a small energy sun, incomparably dazzling. Just now, he actually did not notice it at all. Fong Ping's forehead was dripping with cold sweat. This kind of energy was many times stronger than the rank for martial artists from before. It was even stronger than the unknown grandmaster that he had sensed earlier. The golden beast looked a little like a lion. No, a little like a leopard, with leopard patterns on its golden skin. However, it had horns. It was not too big, about 4 to 5 meters long, and its height could not be seen. At this moment, this beast was lying on the ground, not sleeping. The other's 2 big eyes were staring straight at Fong Ping. Fong Ping's heart was pounding. In the next moment, Fong Ping seemed to understand what the golden beast meant. He hurriedly took out all the energy stones from his military backpack and threw them out. With a humble expression, he said, "Sorry to disturb you." The golden monster ignored him. The energy stones that Fong Ping had tossed to it flew toward it automatically. The golden monster opened its mouth and swallowed all the energy stones in one gulp. Fong Ping's expression changed again and again. Run. There was no way he could outrun it. This was obviously a high-ranked beast. More than 10 million of his energy stones had been swallowed just like that. Was he still staring at him? Was he looking at his flesh and blood? He heard that martial artist flesh was also the favorite food of these catacombs creatures. Fong Ping's forehead was dripping with sweat. Had he lost his mind? Why was he walking in this direction? He carefully moved his feet, but the beast's big eyes looked at him again. Fong Ping's heart almost stopped beating. I'm out. Fong Ping fumbled in his military backpack and waved his hands carefully. I'm really out, except for the 100 caddies of flesh on me. The golden beast obviously had a certain level of intelligence. It knew that Fong Ping had no energy stones, but its eyes still stared at him. Fong Ping's legs were a little weak. He carefully took a step back, but it was as if there was a wall behind him, blocking his way. Mentality barrier. Fong Ping suddenly realized something. It's not letting me go. Is it going to eat me? No, if it wanted to eat me, it wouldn't have waited until now. Countless thoughts flashed through Fong Ping's mind. At this moment, the golden beast suddenly raised its front paw. A blood-red glow appeared on its paw. Then, the blood-red glow left its paw and was swallowed by the golden beast. Fong Ping's beast language was now at its maximum level. It wants me to feed it with vitality. F*CK. It thinks I'm a living vitality supply. Fong Ping immediately understood what the golden beast meant. It was probably hungry and wanted to eat vitality force. As for the flesh, perhaps to these high-ranked creatures, there were too many impurities, so it was not as pure as vitality force. Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. He carefully took a few steps forward. When he was closer to the beast, Fong Ping hesitated. A blood-red glow appeared on his palm, but Fong Ping would not leave his body. Only rank 4 martial artists could release vitality force from their bodies. He could only release it externally at most. Just as Fong Ping was at a loss, the golden beast opened its mouth and inhaled. The blood-red glow in Fong Ping's palm left its body and was swallowed. The golden beast continued to look at Fong Ping, waiting for him to feed it. F*CK. Tens of cal of vitality are consumed in one go. Don't tell me it's going to keep feeding me? Fong Ping's thoughts ran wild, but he could only continue condensing his vitality and wait for the beast to absorb it. Once, twice, just like that, Fong Ping condensed his vitality again and again. The golden beast did not think it was too little. It swallowed every time it condensed. After Fong Ping had condensed almost 100 times, his vitality had been replenished 3 times. The golden beast seemed to be full, or it felt that it could continue to rest. It lay on the ground and closed its eyes, ignoring Fong Ping. I've consumed almost 3,000 calories of vitality. Fong Ping's expression was terrible. His wealth had been depleted almost 3 million, and his energy stones were gone too. It could be said that he had suffered a heavy loss this time. Of course, now was not the time to be greedy. Staying alive was the most important thing. Was this beast trying to keep him in captivity? He wanted to stop feeding it, but if he did not, the beast would just stare at him, as if it wanted to eat him up. Fong Ping did not dare to stop feeding it. What should I do? Don't tell me I'm just going to be a free vitality provider for it, but my wealth is limited. If this goes on, I'll die when my wealth is depleted. The sweat on Fong Ping's forehead increased. He cursed in his heart. This beast looked a lot like a big lion. Was the lion his nemesis? Other people had entered the catacombs dozens of times and never encountered a high-ranked beast. He had encountered one on his first try. This luck. What else could he say? Fong Ping was a little restless. He wanted to leave a few times, but he had only taken a few steps when he felt mentality wandering around him. The golden beast was staring at him. This is the Jiao's forest. Fong Ping gradually calmed down. He suddenly realized where he was. I'm deep in the Jiao's forest. The Jiao was the beast's name. In the catacombs, high-ranked monsters all had their own territories. Once they occupied a piece of land, be it human martial artists or catacombs martial artists, they would rarely look for trouble with these monsters, unless there were huge benefits to be gained. Humans did not know much about these high-ranked beasts, and there were not many records of them. However, the Jiao's forest was recorded in the books. This was because the Jiao was the high-ranked creature closest to humans, and this monster rarely came out of the forest. Facing such a high-ranked creature, humans would not take the initiative to cause trouble. This was equivalent to provoking a high-ranked enemy for themselves. Unless it could be killed quickly, this kind of beast was extremely vengeful. Just as Fong Ping confirmed the beast's identity and was thinking about how to escape, the Jiao opened its eyes and continued to stare at him. Fong Ping had no choice but to continue condensing vitality to feed it. The feeding went on for a long time. As for Fong Ping's wealth, it dropped from 3 million to 85 million in no time. Fong Ping's face turned green. This time, it was a huge loss. In just a few hours, he had fed the Jiao tens of thousands of cal of vitality. This was equivalent to the vitality of a peak rank 6 powerhouse. As for the Jiao, it seemed like it was really full. It started snoring softly. Seeing it snoring, Fong Ping was tempted. Of course, it was not to kill it. Even Fong Ping could not break its defense. What he was thinking was, could he run away now? If he ran, he would be finished if the Jiao chased after him. If he did not run, he could not always be someone's chef. He had painstakingly accumulated 10 million wealth points in just a few hours. He would be bankrupt in a few days. Fong Ping moved his feet carefully. He had only taken a few steps when the Jiao's snoring stopped. Fong Ping's heart beat wildly. He quickly condensed his vitality. The Jiao swallowed it in one gulp and continued to stare at him. Fong Ping was really helpless. He could only continue condensing his vitality and stuff this bastard to death. After feeding it for a while, Fong Ping said carefully, "I'll find a powerhouse to cook for you. My vitality is weak and my strength is low. You won't be able to eat to your heart's content." He did not care if the Jiao understood him. Fong Ping gestured again. He was very small and weak. There were many big ones outside. Then Fong Ping gestured again. His vitality was too low. If he used up too much, he would die. Fong Ping thought he was pretty good at pretending to be dead. "I'll find a powerhouse for you. You can eat delicious food." Fong Ping gestured for a while. He did not know if the beast understood him. After saying that, Fong Ping began to move carefully again. This time, the Jiao did not stop him. Fong Ping was ecstatic. This guy believed him. This guy understood him. So childish. I'd be stupid to come again. I'd be courting death. Fong Ping did not dare to provoke the big guy. He moved carefully until he was about 100 meters away. The Jiao was still lying on the ground, not stopping him. However, when Fong Ping turned around to look, the Jiao suddenly sniffed. Fong Ping's face turned green. What did it mean? Did it remember me? If I didn't bring a powerhouse back to feed it, it would come looking for me? Where would I find a powerhouse to feed it? Unless he got Big Lion to cook for it. The catacombs was huge, but this place was not too far from Hope City. He could not possibly not come here, could he? If he was targeted by such a high-ranked creature, how could he go down the catacombs in the future? Fong Ping's face turned pale. He did not dare to stay for long. When he was a few hundred meters away from the Jiao, he suddenly sped up and fled. The golden monster only watched, still lying on the ground. After Fong Ping ran for more than 10 minutes, everything felt like a dream. I walked out of the high-ranked creature's mouth alive? Fong Ping was in a daze. In the next moment, he suddenly thought of something. I've used up 11 million wealth points. All my energy stones are gone. This revenge is really hard to take. Chapter 244. Now that he knew that he was in the Jiao's forest, and that Jiao was in the depths of the forest, Fong Ping's mind was clear. He should go in the opposite direction to get out. Rushing at full speed, he had a clear direction. Less than an hour into the forest, Fong Ping finally felt the trees thinning out. I'm going out. Fong Ping perked up. He had been traumatized for the past 2 days. All he wanted now was to get back to Hope City. Just as Fong Ping was about to leave the Jiao's forest, his expression changed again. What the hell did I do? Outside the forest, dozens of long-haired martial artists with weapons in their hands happened to pass by. When they saw Fong Ping, one of them stepped on the air toward him. Fong Ping was so scared that his liver trembled. He was at least a peak rank 5. Of course, that was based on the density of energy particles. Fong Ping did not dare to stay any longer. He turned and ran. He did not dare to go outside. There were still dozens of martial artists. Moreover, Fong Ping did not know if he had reached the exit near Sky Gate City. Fong Ping ran madly, his speed exploding to the limit. However, the rank 5 powerhouse was much faster than him. If not for the trees, Fong Ping would have been caught. Damn it. Should I go back? Fong Ping hesitated for less than a second. In the next moment, Fong Ping decided to go back to the Jiao. I've brought a big guy for you. Fong Ping was sure that the Jiao was lazy. It refused to find food on its own. It only ate food that was delivered to its door. If that's the case, I'll go find food for you. The rank 5 powerhouse behind him hesitated when he saw Fong Ping running deeper into the forest. Fong Ping sensed that the other had slowed down. He suddenly turned and shouted, "Nyagukuli?" When he shouted, Fong Ping's face was full of provocation. "Come on, beat me to death." Fong Ping felt that this was a well-tested move. It worked well. The long-haired rank 5 powerhouse frowned. When he saw Fong Ping's provocative gaze, he seemed to understand what he meant. "I'm challenging you. Do you dare to kill me?" In the next moment, the other did not hesitate anymore. He chased after Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not stop either. His vitality erupted again and again. The wounds all over his body opened up. His clothes were already stained with blood. Under Fong Ping's reckless outburst, he returned to the place he had been at for half an hour. As for the rank 5 powerhouse behind him, perhaps because he had not sensed the powerhouse's aura, he chased after him all the way. Under normal circumstances, when a powerhouse's territory was invaded, they would definitely declare their sovereignty. However, this Jiao was probably too lazy to care. Regardless of whether Huang Jing or the others entered, it did not reveal its presence. If he did not know that there was a Jiao here, the rank 5 martial artist might not have been so careless. However, under the circumstances where he knew, the Jiao did not reveal its aura, which made the catacombs martial artists think that it might have gone out to hunt for food. When Fong Ping reached the place where the Jiao had been, the golden monster opened its eyes. Fong Ping hurriedly pointed behind him and said, "I brought you a big one." The Jiao seemed to have sensed the aura as well. It did not look at Fong Ping anymore. When the rank 5 martial artist had just caught up to it, his footsteps suddenly sank, and he was pressed to the ground. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. He found it strange, too. "You didn't press me down when I first arrived, did you? I am too weak. I'm not worth suppressing?" Fong Ping seemed to have realized something. The corner of his mouth twitched. Seeing the catacombs martial artist being pressed down until he was drenched in sweat and unable to move, Fong Ping suddenly understood Old Man Li and the others' desire to become grandmasters. A peak rank 5 martial artist was not weak. However, against this Jiao, they could not resist at all. They were directly suppressed to the point where they could not move. The suppressed catacombs martial artist's face was full of fear and disbelief. Why was the martial artist from the land of Hope fine? Fong Ping ignored it. He did not know what the Jiao was going to do. He could not communicate with the catacombs martial artist, so naturally he could not teach him how to survive. The Jiao did not demonstrate on its own like before. Instead, it looked at Fong Ping. The corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched. He had no choice but to condense his vitality. The Jiao swallowed it in one gulp, then looked at the catacombs martial artist. Now the other party understood. He glared at Fong Ping hatefully. The other party began to condense his vitality and shot it at the Jiao. When an intelligent creature encountered a life-threatening crisis, it would be frighteningly clever. Seeing that the Jiao had a new chef, Fong Ping gestured to the path outside. "I'm going out to catch more people for you." The Jiao ignored him. Seeing this, Fong Ping's heart leaped with joy. When he reached the edge of the forest, Fong Ping's expression changed again and again. An army. He saw an army marching outside. How could this be? If this was the Jiao's forest, then the Jiao's forest was not the route where both sides were fighting. The Jiao's forest was towards the northeast. How could this be? The powerhouses among the martial artists can patrol in the air. Grandmasters are more useful than scouts. Taking a detour to ambush them won't be of much use. Right? Fong Ping hid in the forest, looking around carefully. He could not understand. What was the point of taking a detour for these troops? Will running a bit more work? Fong Ping ran away quickly, though. The other party's scouts had entered the forest. After running a bit deeper, Fong Ping felt a headache coming on. What should he do now? There was an army marching outside. There was a super big guy inside. Although it did not eat him, who knew when it would be in a bad mood and eat him up? Should I go in another direction? Fong Ping pondered for a while. Now that he had found the exit, if he changed direction, he might not be able to escape again. What should I do? Fong Ping was having a terrible headache now. He could not leave this side. The army was marching, and there might be high ranks among them. If he went out and was discovered, he would be dead. If this doesn't work, I'll go in another direction. The Jiao's forest is big, but it's small. It covers a few hundred li, so it's not too big. Thinking of this, Fong Ping continued deeper. If this did not work, he would go in the opposite direction. As for passing by the Jiao, that fellow was easy to trick. He could just say that he would go there and catch a big one for it. After more than an hour, Fong Ping arrived at the Jiao's location again. When Fong Ping arrived, he suddenly heard an extremely sorrowful roar. Fong Ping looked over instinctively. He saw that the rank 5 catacombs martial artist from before had become so thin that he did not even look human. The Jiao was still sucking the other party's vitality, even if the other party's energy particles were so weak that they could not be seen in Fong Ping's senses. In the blink of an eye, the catacomb's rank 5 had suddenly become a bag of bones. In an instant, he went limp and lost his life. Fong Ping was stunned. This is vitality being depleted. A long time ago, Fong Ping had heard from Lu Fengru that the human body needed to maintain a certain amount of vitality in order to survive. Once vitality was depleted, one could only wait to become a dried corpse. Everyone knew about this, which was why Fong Ping had never seen this scene before. Today, however, was an eye-opener. A rank 5 powerhouse, dead in the blink of an eye. Dead. The Jiao devoured his vitality? Fong Ping shuddered. No wonder the Jiao had been restless a few times when his vitality had been depleted. It was probably ready to suck the last of his vitality. Fortunately, Fong Ping was a little afraid of the Jiao's stare, so he replenished his vitality and continued feeding. A rank 5 powerhouse's vitality is probably 4,000 calories, but he was still sucked dry. Fong Ping swallowed. He had fed the Jiao tens of thousands of cal of vitality, and it had been depleted so quickly. Did he think that this beast was stupid and would suck a person dry even if it did not have enough vitality to eat? Fong Ping's heart was thumping wildly. When he saw the Jiao looking at him, Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. He hurried forward to feed it. This fellow could eat too much. The sky was not dark yet. After feeding it another 1,000 cal of vitality, the Jiao seemed to be full and began to nap again. Fong Ping was not in a hurry to leave. He wandered to the rank 5 martial artist side, who had long since become dry. Seeing that the Jiao did not care about the corpse, Fong Ping quickly searched the corpse for a while. Soon, Fong Ping found something. A pair of boxing gloves, equivalent to C-grade material. It should be worth a lot, right? The energy stone is gone. I'm afraid it was fed to the Jiao earlier. This pair of boots is not bad. It's even better than mine. Fong Ping did some calculations. These things were not cheap. They were definitely worth a few million, but the system did not calculate his wealth. King Jiao. Fong Ping called out in a low voice. The golden monster opened its eyes. Fong Ping carefully raised the boxing gloves and made a punching gesture at the corpse, then gestured outside. I'll take the boxing gloves and go out to catch people for you. Are you giving this to me? The Jiao glanced at him and closed its eyes quickly. Fong Ping was delighted. It was really giving it to him. In the next moment, Fong Ping's wealth increased. Previously, because of feeding and running, he had used up almost 13 million wealth. Now, it was replenished with 6 million. Fong Ping's wealth had reached 88 million again. This is a good way to do it. Fong Ping's eyes lit up luring the enemy to be eaten by the Jiao. Although the energy stone was gone, and the energy heart had collapsed because the Jiao had absorbed too much of it, a middle-ranked martial artist's weapon was still worth a lot. If I attract a peak rank 6 and get killed, won't I earn a lot if the opponent's weapon is made of B-grade material? Fong Ping calculated and felt a headache coming on. The periphery was almost 100 li away from here. If he really encountered a peak rank 6, he would be killed immediately. There was no way he could run so far. King Jiao, why don't we go out and earn a lot of money? Fong Ping shouted. When the Jiao opened its eyes, Fong Ping motioned for it to go out. The Jiao glanced at him, its huge eyes flashing with impatience. It was obviously annoyed that Fong Ping was always making noise. Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. He had flattered the Jiao too much. He dared not continue to harass the Jiao. Fong Ping tied his gloves, boots, and a few other weapons together. He took off his jacket and wrapped these things together. He felt a little helpless. There were too many weapons, and it was a hindrance. The key was that the valuable energy stones were all gone. Why don't I leave the weapons here first and lure a few rank 4 and 5 martial artists over? Then I'll bring them all back. If I go back, Big Lion will be scared to death. I've killed so many rank 4 and 5 martial artists. It'll be weird if I don't die. But it's dangerous to ask a tiger for its skin. If I'm not careful and get eaten, there'll be no one to reason with. Fong Ping was a little conflicted. His wealth had dropped a lot. The martial artists outside were in groups. When would he have to wait for his wealth to exceed 100 million? Previously, he was only short of 5 million. Now he was short of 12 million. It was all consumed by the golden monster. It had to compensate him, right? Fong Ping gritted his teeth and said, I'll do it once. If it reaches 100 million, I'll leave. As long as his wealth reached 100 million, he would leave. It seemed like Jiao did not restrict him from coming and going. When his wealth reached 100 million, he would run away. It was so lazy that it would not chase after him. Would it? There were dangers everywhere in the catacombs. Fong Ping had thought it through. It was an adventure here. Hunting martial artists in other places was also an adventure. It might even be more dangerous. Big Lion was good at fooling people. Middle-ranked martial artists were everywhere. How long had it been? How many middle-ranked martial artists had he seen? When Fong Ping went to the periphery again, he could still see some small troops passing by, including some scattered martial artist teams. At this moment, Fong Ping also realized that a war was about to start. Is Hope City fighting now? Attacking from the rear can be considered as contributing to Hope City. I'm going deep into the enemy's territory, right? Fong Ping felt that he was quite noble. In order to save mankind, he was now colluding with high-ranked creatures. Who would dare to do such a dangerous thing without a fearless spirit? Big Lion actually said that he would not contribute to mankind. This time, it was a slap to his old face. With the noble idea of reducing the pressure on mankind, Fong Ping specifically stared at the middle-ranked powerhouses with weapons. He did not want to waste his effort to lure those without weapons. Fong Ping did not lure martial artists from the military. Fong Ping did not look at martial artist teams with many people either. Fong Ping also looked at martial artist teams with fewer people. If there was a rank 6 powerhouse, he immediately hid, not daring to expose his aura. Rank 4 and 5 martial artists were his real targets. Soon, Fong Ping chose his targets. A small team of 3, all rank for martial artists. When he lured these 3 people deep into the catacombs, the sky suddenly darkened. It was dark. Seeing that it was dark, Fong Ping stopped going out and began to wait. It was time for dinner. When Fong Ping demonstrated feeding vitality to the Jiao, 2 of the 3 people understood. The other one foolishly wanted to fight Fong Ping and was immediately fixed on the spot by the Jiao's mentality. Not long after, he was sucked dry. When the other 2 saw this, their faces were full of indignation and anger. but they could only continue feeding vitality to the Jiao. The Jiao was like a bottomless pit. No amount of vitality was enough for it to absorb. Very quickly, the 3 rank for martial artists were all swallowed up by it. Before they died, the 2 rank for martial artists' faces were filled with unwillingness and despair. They thought they could survive. Why didn't the martial artists from the Land of Hope get swallowed up by the air blood? Fong Ping naturally would not explain. He had also been sucked dry a few times, but he recovered quickly. Otherwise, he would have died a long time ago. After collecting the 3 people's weapons, Fong Ping continued to ask about the Jiao. The Jiao still ignored him. On the other hand, Fong Ping's wealth increased again. 3 people, 3 weapons. Fong Ping's wealth increased by 10 million. After deducting what he had spent on the run, Fong Ping's wealth had reached 97. 5 million. He was close to reaching 100 million. I killed 6 rank for martial artists and 1 rank 5. Fong Ping exclaimed. Among the rank 3 martial artists besides himself, was there anyone else who could do it? Chapter 245. At night, Fong Ping did not dare to run around. He was afraid that he would get lost. However, Fong Ping was not having a good time that night. The Jiao stared at him. He had no choice but to continue feeding it. After feeding almost 3,000 calories, it stopped staring. 3 million wealth points were gone in an instant. Fong Ping's wealth dropped to 94. 5 million. Finally, it was daybreak. Fong Ping did not need to lure it anymore. Someone came to him. A peak rank 5 martial artist had been lost here. Many people had seen it. The martial artist had not returned, which worried the other team. They came to investigate at daybreak. However, the other party stopped when he was about 10 li away from the Jiao. Fong Ping was about to go out and prepare breakfast for the Jiao. The 2 of them met. When he saw that Fong Ping was safe, the other party was stunned. He recognized him as the person who had been hunted yesterday. Fong Ping was alive. Where was his companion? Without waiting for the other party to question, Fong Ping suddenly roared, "Nayagakuli!" The other party was stunned. This time, Fong Ping was stunned too. Mother asterisk cur. Why do people freeze every time I shout like that? Logically, when someone shouted Mother asterisk cur, come and kill me, they should be angry and annoyed, right? Why were the catacombs martial artists in a daze? Nayagukali. Fong Ping shouted again, not very confident. The other party stared at Fong Ping. He did not move. Instead, he gestured for Fong Ping to go down. Go down? Fong Ping did not understand. The other party looked at Fong Ping coldly and shouted. That tone, that posture. Kneel? Fong Ping's face turned green. What's going on? Nayagukali. Fong Ping stopped shouting suddenly. He said angrily, Kneel, my ass. After saying that, he gave the other party the middle finger, looking down on him for a while. The other party was surprised. He looked suspicious. In the next moment, before the doubt disappeared from his face, the other party's silhouette flashed and appeared in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping was shocked. He turned and ran. The other party was not in a hurry to give chase. Instead, he carefully checked the surroundings. When he sensed nothing out of the ordinary, he slowly followed behind Fong Ping, remaining vigilant. They had lost a peak rank 5 powerhouse here. Maybe he was plotted against by this martial artist from the Land of Hope, or maybe he was unlucky and encountered the golden-horned beast king. Regardless of the reason, he had to be careful. However, the cultivators who saw Hope had to be killed. Otherwise, if the other party ran back, it would be troublesome. Fong Ping ran all the way, no longer provoking the other party. For the first time, the other party didn't know what was going on and chased after him after being provoked. Right now, the other party was obviously looking for someone. If he continued to provoke them, they would only suspect that it was a trap. That was why Fong Ping spared no effort in running. It was only 10 li away anyway. When he reached the place where the Jiao was, he did not stop and ran straight towards it. The martial artist at the back obviously did not expect that there was a big guy lying on the ground. And most importantly, that guy was ignoring Fong Ping. When the man got close to the Jiao, his expression suddenly changed, and he turned and ran. However, before he could take more than a few steps, his entire body trembled, and he instantly fell to the ground. Only then did Fong Ping turn around and walk over. The way he looked at the Jiao was a little strange. This guy's mentality was too strong. What rank was it? 7th rank? A rank 7 was this strong? Could it be rank 8? She's too lazy to move. She's either pregnant or leveled up after swallowing so much blood, and Fong Ping muttered. However, the Jiao did not look like a female. Don't ask how Fong Ping knew, it was just a feeling. If it was not a female, it was most likely on the verge of leveling up. Rank 7 to rank 8, or rank 8 to rank 9. Either way, it was not something Fong Ping could afford to provoke. This time, Fong Ping did not need the Jiao's signal. He shouted, "Hey, look at me!" As he said that, Fong Ping condensed vitality in his hand, and the Jiao swallowed it in one gulp. The martial artist who had chased after him was pale, but he did not look at Fong Ping. He stared at the Jiao for a while, then suddenly opened his mouth and said something. Looking at the grief and indignation on his face, it was obvious that he knew something. In the next moment, under Fong Ping's dumbfounded gaze, the other party roared, his vitality surging. He did not fight the Jiao to the death. Instead, he broke into a run. This time, Fong Ping felt an invisible wave of mentality. The Jiao was obviously a little angry. Its mentality wave was strong, and in an instant, the other party's bones were cracking under the pressure, and blood was seeping out of his body. Fong Ping also felt the pressure, and he carefully avoided the Jiao's gaze. Beasts, after all, still had bestial instincts. This time, the Jiao used its mentality to move the other party to its side. Instead of feeding it, it opened its mouth wide and began to devour the other party's vitality. Fong Ping watched for a while, and suddenly understood why the Jiao did not kill him the first time it saw him. Forcefully devouring the other party's vitality had spread far and wide. The other party was also a rank 5 powerhouse, but in the end, Fong Ping realized that the Jiao might not have devoured more than 2,000 calories of vitality. At least half of it has been wasted. Fong Ping shuddered. The Jiao did not kill him not because he was handsome, but because it wanted him to actively feed it. Then, when the conversion rate was the highest, it would devour all of his vitality. Sly. This bastard is definitely intelligent. After devouring the other party's vitality, a cloth bag floated out of the other party's body. Fong Ping used his mentality, and the cloth bag was torn apart. Before the energy stones fell, the Jiao swallowed them. It's definitely going to level up. Since yesterday, Fong Ping had not seen it move. It had been using its mentality all this time, and it was very likely to be on the verge of leveling up. This place is not far from Hope City. If it levels up, will it affect the humans? Fong Ping did not have any hopes of taming this big guy. The Jiao was a sly old fox. Maybe it had thought that he was too weak to lure people. Or maybe it knew that he was from Hope City, not the catacombs. In the catacombs world, humans were on the defensive and would not actively seek trouble with these beasts. The same could not be said for the catacombs humans. It's quite intelligent. Fong Ping made his judgment, but he did not stop walking. He walked to the side of the dead martial artist. This time, he did not have to search for the other party's Changdao. The other party's clothes had been squashed into shreds. There was nothing else on the body. When the Changdao was in his hands, Fong Ping asked, as usual, "King Jiao, are you giving this to me?" The Jiao ignored him, staring at him. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. He had no choice but to concentrate his vitality and start feeding it. He had to leave as soon as possible. This guy was insatiable and had high requirements for vitality. If he could not lure the other party over and his vitality could not be replenished, the Jiao would definitely swallow him whole. After feeding the other party more than 2,000 calories of vitality, the Jiao closed its eyes and stopped looking at Fong Ping. Fong Ping's wealth first dropped to 92 million, then rose to more than 100 million in an instant. The rank 5 martial artist Changdao was also C-class. The Changdao was heavy, and it increased his wealth by 10 million in an instant. More than 100 million. Fong Ping was overjoyed. Finally, more than 100 million. His wealth was rising and falling. He was almost in despair. Finally, in the catacombs, how many days had it been? 6 days. Yes, in the 6 days he had been in the catacombs, his wealth had finally exceeded 100 million. The data in his vision darkened instantly. Fong Ping was not surprised. Instead, he was happy. As expected, he was going to level up. It was the same for the previous 2 times. He just had to wait for a while. While waiting, Fong Ping started to pack his things. There were 9 weapons in total. Among them was the rank 3 long sword. Fong Ping had killed 3 people and left him a Changdao, a spear, and a bow and arrow. The boxing gloves left by the peak rank 5 martial artist yesterday, the saber, and 2 swords left by the 3 rank for martial artists last night, and the Changdao left by this person today. Catacombs martial artists use sabers and swords the most. In fact, it was the same for human martial artists as well. Sabers and swords were the most commonly used weapons. Fong Ping calculated that these weapons had brought him about 40 million wealth points. In fact, including the energy stones, Fong Ping's total wealth this time had reached more than 57 million. In addition to his original wealth of close to 80 million, killing the 3 rank for martial artists and feeding the Jiao had cost Fong Ping more than 30 million wealth. However, Fong Ping's wealth had still increased. Moreover, with so many weapons, if he sold them for more than 40 million, he would still have wealth in his account. I killed a rank 3, 6 rank 4s, and 2 rank 5s. Actually, the harvest is still small. Fong Ping shook his head slightly. After killing so many middle-ranked martial artists, it was really not worth it to only have a few weapons on him. Those who could achieve such a result were usually rank 6 martial artists. However, when rank 6 martial artists appeared, most of the time they would only face rank 6 martial artists. Rank 6 martial artists might be able to do it if they took a huge risk and were extremely lucky. In the end, they only obtained some weapons. After deducting their own expenses, there might not be much left. I killed so many martial artists. Even I can't believe it. Fong Ping was a little shocked. Everyone had seen a rank 3 killing a rank 4. What about a rank 3 killing a rank 5? Had they seen it before? Qin Fengqin had escaped from a rank 5 and still made it into the top 10 of the martial arts university ranking list. Fong Ping had killed a rank 5, and 2 of them at that. It should not be difficult for him to become number 1, right? I'm really amazing this time. I'm afraid I can shock Hope City. No, shock the whole world. A rank 3 killing a rank 5. 2 at once. Fong Ping was happy for a while. At this time, his eyes lit up. The system upgrade was completed. Wealth, 102 million vitality. 999 calories, 999 calories plus mentality. 539 hertz, 539 hertz plus. Bones honed. 177 bones, 90% plus. 29 bones, 30% plus. At a glance, there were no changes. However, Fong Ping's eyes were frighteningly bright. What the hell was that plus? It's finally here. Bone marrow like mercury. No, can the skull be added now? Vitality and mentality can be added too. However, they could be added before. It's just that the symbol has materialized now. Honed skull, honed bone marrow, mentality reached the standard. Fong Ping suddenly thought of a word, Grandmaster. When he reached the standard in these three, would he not directly enter the ranks of Grandmasters? No. Fong Ping frowned suddenly. There's no systematic honing of the 5 viscera and 6 bowels. Then what should I do when I'm in the middle ranks? If he could not speed up the honing of his internal organs, did it not mean that he could only train hard in the middle ranks? The next time he leveled up, it might be 1 billion wealth. Where was he going to get that much wealth? This is troublesome. Fong Ping suddenly realized that once he stepped into rank 4, he might be in big trouble. Also, the price of in-depth honing of the bone marrow isn't low, right? Fong Ping tried it out and muttered to himself. In the next moment, the data changed. Wealth, 101. 9 million vitality. 999 calories, 999 calories plus mentality. 539 hertz, 539 hertz plus, bones honed. 1 bone, 91% plus, 176 bones, 90% plus, 29 bones, 30% plus. I knew it wouldn't be cheap. 1 bone increased the degree of honing by 1% and consumed 100,000 wealth. This meant that the complete honing of 1 bone required 1 million wealth, and 177 bones required 177 million. I've consumed close to 200 million wealth to turn the bone marrow of my limbs and torso in a jade texture. Forget about the skull. It's definitely not cheap. I can't afford to hone it. Fong Ping calculated and muttered again. But I only need part of the bone marrow to be jade textured, like the limbs. 126 limb bones have been completely jade textured. That's enough to give everyone an explanation. That's 126 million. The difference isn't too big. Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was not a few billion. Otherwise, he could forget about it for the rest of his life. For martial artists in the 3 lower ranks, including those in the 3 middle ranks, if they were asked to spend 200 million to turn their bone marrow into jade texture in advance, they would probably fight to the death for it. Wealth of less than 200 million was not considered expensive. After the system upgrade was completed, Fong Ping packed all the weapons and looked at the Jiao with a face full of smiles. King Jiao, I'll continue to capture people for you. Rest well. After saying that, Fong Ping strode away. Suddenly, the Jiao opened its eyes and looked at the weapons in Fong Ping's hands. Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. Did it know that he was going to run? King Jiao, I need to deal with some of these weapons. Otherwise, my vitality won't be enough. As Fong Ping said that, he condensed his vitality and dispersed it quickly. Then he pointed at the weapons. The condensed vitality force appeared in his hands again, stronger than before. The Jiao seemed to be muttering to itself, as if it was trying to understand what he meant. After a while, the Jiao closed its eyes. Fong Ping did not even dare to breathe. He left with light steps. After thinking for a while, he suddenly turned his head and did not walk in the direction he had gone. The army was marching there. He could not go there. If memory served him right, one side of the Jiao's forest led to Hope City and Skygate City, while the other side was near East Sunflower City. East Sunflower City was northeast of Hope City. It was also a big city. However, this city did not have many conflicts with humans. Some of the casual martial artists that humans encountered were from East Sunflower City. He had never seen an army, though. Fong Ping calculated. If he was careful, he might not be noticed if he took a detour here. On the other hand, Skygate City was more dangerous because it was full of soldiers. It's just a few hundred li more, Fong Ping thought. For him, running at full speed would only take a few hours. After more than an hour, Fong Ping neared the edge, the exit of East Sunflower City. Fong Ping cautiously probed for a while, but did not find anyone outside. He let out a huge sigh of relief. Walking out of the forest, Fong Ping's heart was filled with joy. The next moment, however, his expression changed abruptly. The grinder. Fong Ping was stunned. Where was he? Was East Sunflower City at war with humans? But he had never heard of it. It did not make sense for a blood-colored grinder to be formed so quickly, did it? The next moment, Fong Ping hurriedly fished out a few martial artist medals from his pocket. He flipped them to the back of the medals. The city emblem was on the back. Sunflower. In his hand was a rank 5 medal. The back of the medal was stamped with a plant that looked like a sunflower. This was also the origin of East Sunflower City's name. So, the direction that I took earlier is East Sunflower City? Suddenly, Fong Ping understood everything he did not understand. Before this, he was still thinking that Skygate City had nothing better to do and had to take a detour. Now, he understood that was East Sunflower City's army. They were also going to war. The two cities have joined forces. Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. The humans were already struggling to fight against Skygate City, let alone the two cities working together. I stumbled upon it. Actually, I've been going in the direction of East Sunflower City. They started sending their troops yesterday. The army won't be moving too fast. The entrance to East Sunflower City doesn't go straight through the Jiao's forest. It's about 500 li from Hope City. Even elite soldiers would need at least 3 days. After all, they have to consider the presence of ordinary soldiers. Today is the second day. Thinking of this, Fong Ping could not stay any longer. He was in big trouble. He had to hurry back and report. However, after running for a while, Fong Ping stopped, not too confident. I thought it was the direction of Skygate City, but I ended up going to East Sunflower City. Then I thought it was the direction of Hope City. It wouldn't be Skygate City, would it? Fong Ping's expression changed again and again. He began to carefully detect the distribution of energy particles. Outside the Jiao's forest, the direction where the energy particles were the weakest was in the south. If this was still not right, Fong Ping might as well kill himself in Skygate City. It seems weaker here. Chapter 246. I'm really grateful for everyone's support along the way. Many of Gao Wu's readers followed me from Qianyuan all the way here. There have been highs and lows. Old Eagle's plot may not be good, and his writing may not be good enough. A novel with millions of words, and he keeps updating at a high speed. There are bound to be some loopholes, but everyone has been very tolerant. During the time he was writing Gao Wu, Old Eagle encountered many things, happy and unhappy, and his emotions fluctuated greatly. But there were often readers who comforted him, "Don't be depressed, don't mind it, write your book," and everyone has been supporting you. To be honest, many times when you're writing alone and reading these words of comfort, Old Eagle will feel touched from the bottom of his heart. It's just that I don't have any female readers. Guys, don't comfort me next time. I always feel like I'll be turned gay. Today, I received the first Silver Sect leader in my life. To be honest, I don't really care about the amount of rewards. Sometimes I'm afraid of being rewarded. When I was writing Qianyuan, the rewards in the later stages were quite high, 40 to 50 for the sect leader. Even I was shocked. Then, when I promised to add more chapters in the early stages, I reneged on the debt. Actually, it doesn't count. Back then, Qianyuan didn't mention a minimum of 3 chapters. I guaranteed a minimum of 12,000 every day. However, he could truly feel the sincerity in his heart. From the first day it was published, the group was actively preparing for the crowdfunding of silver rewards. The chief steward, T. Egg, Emperor Sky, and the other moderators and group managers were busy all the time. For a period of time, I was annoyed. It's always full staff. Isn't it annoying? You guys are so dedicated, but I don't pay you guys. Is there a need? I told the chief steward to stop preparing for this. It's really annoying. My readers are here to read, and it's uncomfortable to have to do this all the time. In the end, let's not talk about the end. Anyway, the preparations continued. Today, The long march of 10,000 miles was completed. There are too many readers who have been supporting and accompanying me. I'm very grateful to everyone. Coincidentally, Gao Wu also reached 1 million words today. It's been 86 days since the book was published, so it can be considered a double blessing. I'm very grateful to everyone for the surprise today. Thank you all. Thank you to the brothers and sisters who have accompanied Old Eagle all this time. Through ups and downs, we have walked together for more than 2 years, and I hope we can continue on this path. Finally, thank you to the brothers and sisters who have helped me so much this time. This crowdfunding list was downloaded from the group, so I don't know if I missed any brothers or sisters. Regardless, Old Eagle expresses his greatest gratitude. Thank you, everyone. Crowdfunding list: Duan Anonymous, 7V, Mo Fuzhou, Tang Shirsan Waving Hands, Luo Wunfan, ET Egg, FDGDSSDFGDS, Hilton, Chow asterisk 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 asterisk, You Sit at the Bow, Goose's Unruly People, Young Master Hua, YY Qing Yu Vanities EMC, No, 8 Cloud Dragon, Hua Hua Hua, Mo Xiang, I'm used to it, I'm Cola, I can bubble up, Pa Chung, Little Knife, Big Bird Alone, Even Heroes Must Kneel, Data Restaurant, Snow on the Desert, Ah Xiong, Year of a Stranger, Ma, Ba Sheep Dragon Wolf, and Yuan, I love books so much, Weary World 1, Peak Review, NPC Uncle, Can You Read Without Paying, Meow, Lipsby Continue to Smile, Confused Man Who Doesn't Play Soy Sauce, Fat Cat with Inner Meaning, From a Dream, Haggard and Sorrowful, Book Friend 20-1807-1420-54333639, Just Call Me Brother Chong, Chicken Plays Eagle, Qianfeng, All the Heart, When Bug Was Small, Unparalleled in the World 2017, Check-in 666, Gourd Hand, Dong Yuwei, Want Take a Look, 3 years old Shu, Gudu, Huzi Luo Yufan, Feng Shang Snow Slide, Bamboo Pole, Wong, A Little Raid, Falling in Love with a Page of Love, Camel Buried in the Sand, High is Wandering, Support You 1110, Zayashim, Look at My Holy Power, Chi Shi, Immortal Punglai, Sorrow Descends, Dark Starry Sky 66, Jazo 12, Su 98658, Reaching Perfection, Yo Chow, People Are Everywhere, Just Met, Yeah, Melody, Soulbreaker, Mu Tianlei, Cocoyong Coco, Zhu Yen, Night Palace World, Xiang Wulong, Daoist Yuri, Tears of Heaven, Lu Yanfeng, Lu Hong, C, OC, You Are All Water, Crazy Wave Dad, Remembrance, Can You See Han Mountain, Star, Wind Rises, Low Smile, Stars Sink into C1, Long, E, Old Wong Next Door, I Read Novels, Jun Wu Dance, Yaoyang Coco, Zhu Yen, Night Palace World, Xiang Wulong, Daoist Jury, Tears of Heaven, Lu Yanfeng, Lu Hong, COCO, 131, Fish in the Pond, Maple, Tao Wu, Wang Chinxiu by Zeifei Luo, Bunny is So Cute, Facing the Sea, Hudson, Broken Flying Sword, Tak, Riding Seal VZS, Been Cool Since I Was Young, I Am 3 Waves 1416, ZWY 9491, Crazy Love, Echo, EHOD, you're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.